into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
A very good morning to you, South Africa. It's yet another fantastic Friday morning. It's Friday the 13th. Now, regardless of all the myths you know about the day, we are guaranteed to bring you a fantastic show this morning. Jamie.
Guys, it's World Sleep Day. I woke up like that. No. Good morning, everybody. Jamie Domberg reporting live for duty today. But it's World Sleep Day today. Did you know that's a thing?
I had no idea that's the thing, because to me, that's the thing every day.
Oh, that is true. But we're going to get really into it about like sleep paralysis, when's a good time to sleep, how many hours a day you should be sleeping, if you should be taking a naps, all of that on the show today. I am so excited for it, because I feel like sometimes, friend, waking up 3:45 in the morning, you have to go sleep a certain time of the day. So it's going to be a very interesting topic today. But if you have any questions, remember to connect with us throughout the show, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3 on all social media platforms, and connect with us and let us know what you think about World Sleep Day and also Friday the 13th.
Absolutely, man. Also, it's Friday Dance Day. We're bringing you nothing but sass, fun on the show today, so make sure to keep it locked right here for all of that. Okay, right now, Jim, I'm just going to go back to sleep now.
Let's both go back to sleep while Kat handles the news headlines.
Yes, indeed, ladies. While you continue to snooze, let me take care of those news headlines. The time just after 6 o'clock, and here are those news headlines. On this Friday morning, on the national front, Health Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize yesterday announced that an additional 4 cases of coronavirus have been confirmed in South Africa. He added that the Free State man who had previously tested positive was in fact not infected, which revised the number in the country from 17 to 16. He reiterated the World Health Organization's call to take preventative measures to stop the spread of the virus, such as washing hands often, avoiding touching your face with unwashed hands, and your Grand Slam tennis champion. On the international news front, the security situation in the Sahel region of Africa is rapidly deteriorating, U.S. officials warned this week. Terror attacks by Islamist militants against civilians and military targets have shown a sharp rise in Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger. The Sahel is an area south of the Sahara Desert, spanning 10 countries from Senegal in the west to Eritrea in the east. In 2019 alone, violence in the area left more than 2,000 civilians dead. Now, 3 people have been killed after a base hosting US and UK troops in Iraq was hit by rockets. At least 12 people were injured in the attack on the Taji military camp north of Baghdad. US military sources said an American soldier, an American contractor, and a British soldier were killed. Tension has been high since the US killed senior Iranian commander Qasem Soleimani in the drone strike that happened in January. And now news of something big happening at SANCOB's Tableview Centre. In the wake, of course, of Port Elizabeth's branch of the Southern African Foundation for the Conservation of Coastal Birds, or SANCOB, specialized rehabilitation pool that we reported on a while ago, comes exciting news of something big to happen at their Table Bay Centre in Cape Town. SANCOB will be constructing a brand new visitors centre, and the multi-purpose facility will, inter alia, house a new education room, souvenir shop, meeting room, a coffee shop overlooking the home pen of resident birds as well. Hopefully the new centre will be multi-purpose, not only used for educational talks and training, but also to hire the other organisations for conferences, meetings and events. And this should provide the organisation with further income to offer care and rescue for seabirds and become a more sustainable organisation overall. Well, that's it for the news headlines right now. Let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sport. And we kick things off with motorsport and breaking news coming from the world of Formula One. This weekend's season-opening Australian Grand Prix has been called off due to the coronavirus outbreak. Team drivers and crew have already made their way to Melbourne for the race scheduled to take place this weekend. And this news follows McLaren's withdrawal from the race on Thursday after one of their team members tested positive for the coronavirus. In cricketing news, the first one-day international match between India and the Proteas was a abandoned without a ball being bowled in Dharamsala yesterday. Heavy rains poured down before the scheduled start and returned before the toss had taken place, which resulted in the match being abandoned. The second ODI between South Africa and India will take place on Sunday from 10 a.m. in Lucknow. Now, for some rugby news, all 4 South African teams will be in action in the 7th round of Super Rugby taking place this weekend. The Lions are the first local team in action when they start off the New Zealand leg of their tour with a clash against the Blues in Auckland early tomorrow morning. The Bulls will then take on the Reds in Australia before the local derby at Kings Park between the Sharks and the Stormers from 15:05 p.m. In football news, the Nedbank Cup quarterfinals will kick off this weekend when Real Kings play host to Bidvest Wits at the Sugar Ray Ulu Stadium at 8 p.m. Now, there will be 2 fixtures tomorrow with Baroka FC up against the first team to advance to the last 8 and Black Leopards. And that match will be followed by a massive clash between Highlands Park and Mamelodi Sundowns at 6 p.m. The last of the quarterfinals will be played on Sunday when TS Sporting welcome Bloemfontein Celtic to the Kanyamazane Stadium at 3 p.m. And other footballing news now, taking it to Europe. UEFA Europa League football continued last night with Manchester United thrashing Austrian Association Football Club Linz Athletic Sport Club 5-0 in the first leg of the round of 16. The match took place at an empty Linz stadium in Austria, due, of course, to concerns over the coronavirus outbreak. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side is now unbeaten in their last 11 games in all competitions. The second leg is scheduled to take place next Thursday at Old Trafford. And that's a quick look at your sporting headlines right now. Let's take a first update of your weather.
One of the best ways to start any day is to, of course, to know what's happening with the weather outside. So let's have a first look at what's happening with the weather. But first, we have asked you to send in your sunrise pictures. Our regular photographer, Gary Okamp, sent us the stunning sunrise from East London, where you can expect sunny conditions with pleasantly warm temperatures reaching a maximum of 29 degrees. Thank you so much, Gary, for that sunrise picture. Another regular, Father Khan, sent us this beautiful sunrise from Richards Bay, where you can expect mostly cloudy conditions with warmer but less humid temperatures reaching a maximum of 32 degrees. Now, you know that we love seeing those sunrise pictures. Please make sure to keep them going, keep them flowing on our social media platforms using the hashtag Expresso Show. Now, to have the look at the rest of the temperatures for the country, starting off in Polokwane with a low of 16, reaching a high of 29. High humidity for Mbombela at 19, peaking at 28. And Pretoria, 16 is the low, reaching a high of 27. And light drizzle to be expected for Johannesburg at a minimum temperature of 15, reaching a maximum of 25. Mahikeng, your temperatures range from 17 as the minimum, reaching a maximum of 27. High humidity for Klerksdorp at a high of 24 degrees and a low of 15. Northwesterly wind of 20 kilometers an hour in Kimberley at a low of 14, reaching a high of 26. Heavy rainfall for Bloemfontein at 14, peaking at 25 today. And Richards Bay, your peak for this Friday morning is 32 degrees and a low of 23. Thunder showers are to be expected in Pietermaritzburg at a low of 17, reaching a high of 28. Northeasterly wind of 13 kilometers an hour in Durban with temperatures in the 20s with a low of 23 and a high of 28. Mthatha, 15 is the minimum and the maximum is 28. And northeasterly wind of 23 kilometers an hour in East London at a low of 20, reaching a high of 29. Thunder showers expected for Gedok at 15, reaching a high of 31. And high humidity for Port Elizabeth at a high of 28 with a low of 18. Now, George, your temperatures range from 16, reaching a high of 25. And the coolest start to this morning is in Sutherland with a low of 8 degrees, reaching a high of 26. It's going to be a sunny day all round. A sunny day also in the mother city, Cape Town, with a low of 15, reaching a high of 22. A partly cloudy day in Worcester at a minimum temperature of 14, reaching a maximum of 30 degrees. A sunny one also in Springbok at a high of 26 with a low of 9 degrees. And the highest temperature in the country goes to Uppington with a maximum temperature of 35 and a low of 16. Now, remember, whichever part of the country you're in and whatever the weather, make sure to have yourselves a fantastic Friday morning.
Friday, Vrijdag. Feels lekker. I needed this week to end.
Really? Has it been that
it's been a long,
challenging?
So I'm so excited that it's World Sleep Day today because I can sleep.
enough.
Mama's going to sleep today.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
then-
Well, listen, maybe you don't intend to sleep all day today, even though it's World Sleep Day. So maybe you might need some words of inspiration to get your engines revved up. And we're going to be sharing those with you a little bit later on.
Absolutely.
But in terms of World Sleep Day today, what are we asking on social media?
We're asking what is your night routine before going to bed? So let us know on our social media, Expresso, Morning Show, SABC3. What is your night routine? What does it look like?
I don't actually have a routine as such.
Yeah?
Usually it's like, oh, I'm tired. Done. But I mean, ideally, I would love for it to be like, you know, a long hot shower, you know, dental routine, facial routine with the wash and the mask and the rehydration and all of that. So because I feel like when you do that, then you take care of yourself a bit more, you know, and in that period when you're asleep,
Must be nice.
you wake up feeling like, oh, did I just like have an African hot stone massage during my sleep? I don't know. What's yours?
Same. I literally just like watch.
Favorite series?
Like favorite series, and then I'm like, oh, okay, wake up again.
Do you fall asleep with the series on?
I do, and then midway through, I'm like, okay, pause, and then. So yeah, I don't really have a night routine, but it's going to be interesting to hear what other people's night routine is. Maybe you can suggest how we can get that hot stone massage.
Yeah,
or
that
make us
feeling.
feel refreshed for the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. So do share your thoughts with us on our Feel Good Breakfast Show's Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3, on this World Sleep Day. But yes, now for those inspiring words.
Yes.
Can we share them?
Now you can
I
share
think
them.
we can. And they come from somebody who's very well known in the marketing space. He was a businessman and author who goes by the name E. Joseph Cosman. And from being a door-to-door salesman to pioneering television infomercials, Cosman was known for making millions from marketing must-have novelties such as the very well-known Ant Farm. And then, of course, telling other entrepreneurs exactly how to do the same thing. And his wisdom, or his words of wisdom, are actually quite linked to today's World Sleep Day theme, right?
Yes. What is it?
That's his face.
Oh, is that his
Can we
face?
just appreciate Mr. Cosman first, please? All right.
Yes. Like let his face. Okay.
And he said this: the best bridge between despair and hope is a good night's sleep.
I like him.
Oh,
I like him.
the best bridge between despair and hope is a good night's sleep. Yeah. And then the best bridge between hope and amazingness is a cuppa grind from Sis Princess.
I got a
Hey,
I got a fry.
Sis Princess, what sharp. I'd also love one as well. Are you okay?
I'm okay
I feel
now.
like you're going through a lot this morning.
I am, but it's fine. Maybe we should take a young break and then I'll feel better after the break. But I also need like a cup of coffee.
You go ahead. All right, enjoy.
Only the highest grade Arabica beans. McCafe. Great coffee, simple. See you after the break.
Only you can make my day.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show right here on SABC3. This is Expresso. Thank you so much for choosing to start off your Friday morning and your weekend with us right here. Now, today's show is all about sleep. And when it comes to tech, there are some pretty interesting new gadgets out there in 2020 that are designed to help you get the perfect night's rest. We are back with tech guru Brian Smith. Brian,
good morning.
How did you sleep last night?
Pretty well, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I went to good sleep.
That's good. That's
Did you
good.
get any tech in that?
Always in my dreams.
Always in your dreams. I never thought we'd get to a point where we're actually going to use technology to help us sleep at night. I thought like that's one thing we could actually do. But of course there's something called Lumos Flux, which is working on special glasses that is supposed to help reset your sleep rhythms. Is that true? What is
It is. So this is really pretty interesting. If you consider maybe 1,000 years ago, before we had anything the likes of smartphones and candles, our bodies would essentially excrete melatonin, which is a hormone that would help us regulate our sleep at night. And essentially that gears the body at day to be active and then at night to sleep and rest. And essentially that works basically on the quality of light sources that you have around you. If you consider when you're out in the open area, so to speak, you'll have what's called yellow light, and essentially blue light is what will be conveyed throughout the day, and then that disappears at nighttime. Our smart devices exude blue light, which essentially tricks your brain, especially if you're having an all-nighter working on an important document on your laptop or tablet or smartphone. It sort of tricks your brain into thinking that you're actually awake during the daytime. So what these set of glasses actually do is it filters out blue light to trick your brain, or essentially correct your brain, so to speak, to ensure that it feels like you're actually at nighttime, you're in the evening, so that once you're ready to get a good night's sleep, you can actually wind down successfully.
Oh, wow, that is so interesting.
I actually might need those glasses. Hey? Is there somewhere I can actually buy them? Now to the next thing, the motion pillow. Apparently, it changes its own shape to counter your sleep imperfections. How does that work?
Well, if you are a snorer, or perhaps if your partner, your bedmate is a snorer, you'll be well aware of the frustration of having your partner keep you up late at night. And This is a really interesting idea. So essentially, snoring is caused by a poor sleeping angle, for example, or perhaps more latterly, if you can't sleep well, you might be sleeping at a weird position. Essentially, what this pillow is capable of doing is it has a series of inflatable airbags, so to speak, that can actually inflate and adjust as it detects the position of your head. So it actually has a built-in decibel reader, which determines if it can determine if you are snoring. It can actually inflate and tilt the position of your head back and forth while you're sleeping to prevent snoring or just a bad sleeping angle.
Wow.
Listen, did you ever think that we get to this point where we need
Not at
glasses
all.
to help us sleep? A motion pillow. But thank you so much, Brian, for helping us. And be sure to let us know what's exciting you in the world of technology on expressoshow.com. Right now, let's get into fitness before sleeping.
Well, one thing that's certainly got the ladies very excited is this beautiful bed in studio, because today is World Sleep Day, guys. And we're focusing on all things concerned around sleeping, sleep hygiene. So imagine you've gone through an entire day where you've worked hard and you've skipped the afternoon naps, you've made sure that you've eaten properly. So by this time, you should be tired enough to go to bed, but you're still struggling a little bit. Then maybe a little round of Bedtime Pilates might help you out. Emma Just is here joining us alongside Mr. Trevor Lagerway, of course, of Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao fame, and you can catch him tomorrow on the repeat, Saturdays at 8 a.m. So here's the thing. They are very good-looking people, very fit people. So we're going to leave the stage to them to show us how Bedtime Pilates works. Are you ready,
Thank you.
Emma?
Yes, I'm so ready for this.
Good luck.
Guys, guys, it's so important before you go to bed to have a really awesome nighttime routine, and I feel it's something we neglect. So what I really want us to do and focus on today is utilizing our bedroom over here. And what I want us to go through is some really basic stretches using the bed. It's in the comfort of your own home, right before you jump into bed. Get into that meditative mode, completely relax, bring your zen into play, and let's see what we can do. So I'm going to give you 5 basic things we're going to go through. I don't know if this man is going to be able to actually handle all of this, okay? You're not on an island, but let's just check it out.
I'm a bit nervous, I'll be honest.
As you should be.
Should I be?
Yeah,
Good,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start with some basic inhale, exhale routine. So as we inhale, arms all the way up. As we exhale, all the way down. Oh, you go, boy. You're better than I thought. One more. Inhale, all the way up.
yoga sessions.
All the way down. And now you're going to go from the top of your head all the way down your spine. And I just want you to do a roll down. So we're rolling all the way down. Hands onto the floor if you can make it. Oh, yes. All the way up.
Can.
Now, really important, guys, whenever you're doing an exercise, make it nice and slow and really focus on your breathing. So we're actually gonna inhale down, and then we're gonna actually exhale on the way up. Everything is slow. If you want to play something tranquil in the background, it will be absolutely amazing. Facing your bed, your hands are down, and all I want you to do is, you're basically in a push-up position, and all I want you to do is drop your hips all the way down, stretching out those hip flexors, chest up, opening your shoulders even more, stick your boobs out. Great job, all the way up. And then you can pop your feet in, and you can actually push back. And this is going down into the hamstrings and lengthening out that spine, releasing. We're gonna do one more. So all the way forward, exhale, hips down, all the way up, chest open. Oh, you're doing great, kid. You're doing great. All the way back. Flattery is not gonna work. All the way back. And then, guys, what I want you to do is I want you to pop your foot forward onto the bed. So literally it's gonna be in a little square position. A lot of people hold tension in their lower backs. So what I want us to do is loosen up our glute muscle. So whatever the height your bed is, it doesn't matter. You're gonna focus on your balance, pop your leg up, and all I want you to do is come down as far as you can, and all it's gonna do is actually loosen up that glute area, which is so awesome, and it's actually gonna alleviate any of that lower back tension that you might be carrying. And you're gonna hold it there for a few seconds with your tranquil music on, and then after...
Stretch that glute back. Oh, there's resistance.
Good. Let's do the other side. Crossing over. Inhale, exhaling all the way down, allowing that body to just loosen up.
Oh, one leg is always looser than the other, isn't it?
Tell me about it. Always. Is this your bad leg?
This is my better leg.
What if you have two bad legs? I don't know.
It's quite possible.
All the way up. Guys, it's so important to just start incorporating one or two things into your nighttime routine. Enjoy the little bit of time you have before you jump into bed and pop your head on the pillow. It is absolutely going to just relieve a ton of stress.
I don't know what you guys are talking about having two bad legs. Both mine are good. Look at that, just stretching all the way. All right, listen, stick around because Emma's going to be around a little while longer. Next time we'll be doing a second round of Bedtime Pilates.
You don't even know what you're in for.
Really?
Yeah.
What, you don't know what you're in for?
Oh, I need a nap now already.
You can go ahead. Go right
See you
ahead.
guys later.
So make sure that you do stay tuned for our second round of Bedtime Pilates, and then Trevor's going to be taking me through my paces or putting me through my paces a little bit later on. And also, don't forget to catch the repeat of Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao Saturdays at 8 p.m. on SABC3 in case you missed this past Tuesday's episode. Of course, this man had lots to celebrate. But of course, let me not tell you too much about it. Stick around to your Feel Good Breakfast show. We'll be right back. Pillow fight? No, that's not good. Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show. It is a Friday morning and the weekend is upon us. Now, of course, the weekend in sports means that nothing will be happening on our TV screens. No, I'm joking. We do have some sporting action to cover. The Proteas kick off their official tour of India after yesterday's match was rained out. And so the question, can Mark Boucher's side carry their incredible form from their whitewash of Australia against the second-ranked ODI outfit India? Well, all remains to be seen. All eyes will be on Kings Park also for the Sharks versus Stormers head-to-head in the local Super Rugby derby. And of course, we will also be taking a look at some Nedbank Cup quarter-final matchups. And sports editor Garen Lambley is here to share his thoughts on what's happening in the world of sports. I'm sure that for you guys it's been a pretty funny time. Well, not funny, haha, but a very weird time with the cancellation, the postponement of so many sporting fixtures.
Yeah, for sure. You know, almost everything, and no sport has been unaffected across the world.
Yeah.
From Americans, their main four sports, all suspended indefinitely, all the way to Australia. The Grand Prix this weekend cancelled. It's just been unprecedented times. Difficult to know what's going to go ahead, what's not. Even Super Rugby, as we know, the Sunwolves, they're playing their matches in Australia, so they've been affected. I believe the Jaguars playing the Highlanders this weekend. That's going to be played in front of no fans. So that's another big change there. And then obviously football in Europe. I think everyone's got a very close eye on the English Premiership in particular. But in Spain and in Italy, their matches called off. So it's difficult to know what to watch this weekend.
So maybe a bit more of a digestible schedule for you as a sports editor. Let's kick it off with India v South Africa. Of course, we were supposed to have seen the first ODI yesterday. That was rained out without a ball being bowled. My first question was, how did we even get to India so quickly after whitewashing Australia? But we're there now.
We are.
And we look forward to Sunday's matchup that starts at 10 a.m. So far, I mean, given, of course, our performance against England in the ODI series, against Australia, we've built up some nice momentum, so one would expect us to be in good form for this series.
Certainly competitive. You know, obviously very sad that the first one's rained out, so you've got the best of two, which is never really good fun. You know, draw 1-1, no real winner there. So hopefully the match on Sunday goes ahead. Hopefully we can continue our form that we showed against Australia in particular. Obviously a lot depends on Quinton de Kock and his form at the top of the order. A couple of the bowlers have been rested for this tour. It's not I wouldn't say it's our first strength side that's going over to India, but it's very much, you know, just a 3-match series in and out. The IPL obviously kicks off, or supposed to kick off, very soon thereafter. So I think the whole of India is sort of looking forward to that. South African players, some of them will probably stick around for that IPL, not head back to South Africa. But there is a little bit of a break for international cricket thereafter. So it's the last couple of matches for the team after what's been quite a long season against England and Australia. I think they're looking forward to a well-deserved break.
Yeah. But how exciting has it been to see, you know, young talent coming to the fore and really performing on that big stage, the likes of Heinrich Klaasen, Lungi Ngidi, just, you know, fastest to 50 ODI wickets in the history of South African cricket.
It's been great to see this young talent unearthed. I think it's the Graham Smith, Mark Boucher era. They're not afraid, it seems, to pick those lesser lights, if you like, those that have really shone on the local scene and given them a chance at a higher level. And they've certainly put their hands up, and some of them have really cemented their spots in the squad, I'd say, for the time to come.
Yeah, well, looking forward to bringing you those results come Monday morning of the matchup that takes place on Sunday at 10 a.m. And then when we look at, you reflected a bit on the Super Rugby, the fact that some of the matches will be played behind closed doors and others having to move venue, but still some sumptuous rugby to look forward to. Not least of all, the local derby that sees the Sharks taking on the Stormers, two teams that are reasonably within top form.
Yeah, the Sharks are the top of the overall standings, obviously the SA Conference as well. It's a top-of-the-table clash. I think the winner of this match will go a long way to determining who wins the SA Conference. Obviously, that then gives them a home, hopefully a home quarter-final. Both teams in really good form, I'd say, apart from the fact that the Stormers lost their last match. The Sharks have just come back from their tour of Australasia. They did incredibly well there. They certainly will start at home as favourites, but you never really know about the Durban weather, the humidity. The ball becomes very slippery. A little bit of a 50-50 in many aspects there. John Dobson, very shrewd coach of the Stormers. He's picked a made a few changes to his team, I'd say, for the match. I think he's identified a couple of weaknesses in the Sharks outfit, so it should be a fantastic match. Really, really looking forward to that. You know, it's been a long time since the Stormers, I think, have given the Cape fans something to cheer about, and I think this hopefully will be their season in what it will obviously be the last season at Newlands before they head to the Cape Town Stadium. So they're looking to go out on a high, and yeah, should be a really fantastic afternoon.
Yeah, we've also seen some of the other fixtures that include a big New Zealand clash between the Chiefs and the Hurricanes, and of course the Lions away to the Blues. Do you think this might be a season where we might be seeing the Super Rugby Trophy coming to
It could certainly be. I would say, again, the Sharks and the Stormers are the only two chances that we have of lifting that trophy. Unfortunately for the Bulls and the Lions, they just don't seem to be at the sort of level that required to go throughout the 16 weeks and then through the playoffs and then contest for the title. So it's down to the Sharks and the Stormers, I think, for South African glory.
All right, and taking a look at Nedbank Cup action very quickly, we are now into the quarterfinals of the Cup. A very exciting one indeed. Mamelodi Sundowns in with a shout, and you can see some of the fixtures over there, matchups to look forward to. Highlands Park taking on Mamelodi Sundowns. Which one of those really has you anticipating some great action?
Well, the Sundowns obviously would be the favourites, I think, to win this trophy. You know, a little break from the ABSA Premiership at the moment. Wits, obviously, another big contender. They play this evening, and then you've got the all-ABSA Premiership fixture between Barocca and Black Leopards. That should be one to look out for. And then always nice to see some of the lower-tier teams getting a chance in what is effectively the FA Cup of South African football. You know, the fairy tale stories of them coming through. So long may they last in the tournament.
Absolutely. So we're looking forward to lots of action where Nedbank Cup is concerned. Bringing you those results on Monday. Our thanks to you, Mr. Gary. Gotta keep it. Got to keep it sanitized. And of course, let us know which sporting fixtures you're looking forward to catching on the weekend. Do connect with us on our social media platforms. Hashtag Expresso Show.
Now, anyone that knows me will tell you that I'm the type of guy that's always up for a good shopping experience and a good shopping trip. And I can spend hours and hours just window shopping alone. And recently, I was encouraged to enter the world of second-hand shopping. And let's just say, shopping will never be the same again, because bargains over here, bargains over there, bargains everywhere. See, I'm a shopper. I'm all about self-love. I'm all about having the nicest things. And recently, my friend told me I can save lots of money and find some good gems if I enter the world of second-hand shopping. Now, I have to admit, I've never bought anything second-hand. But who says second-hand has to mean second best? Let's check this out. So today I've come to Cash Converters to see what exactly it is that they've got on offer, and walking in, I'm already so impressed. They've got everything from kitchen appliances, TVs, cell phones, tech gadgets, jewelry, and DIY tools. Oh, something tells me I'm gonna have lots of fun here. When you think second-hand cell phones, it's easy to think old and damaged, but that's not true. If you think about it, every year or every 2 years, people upgrade their cell phones, which means we're left with cupboards full of mobile devices. And looking at the products here on display, I mean, they're amazing. It's great products and brands at amazing prices. I think people have sold their phones here for instant cash, which is absolutely fantastic. Why have I never thought of that? And I also see that Cash Converters, they've got 6 months guarantee on all their products, which means that you have peace of mind, especially when buying a second-hand product. You're not going to get that online. Ooh, and I see a mum over here looking at gaming consoles, and I completely get it. They are so expensive, and try telling your teenager they can't have one. Look at them. Look at that PlayStation, for example. So well prized. It's incredible. I think I'm even going to get one myself, and my nephew has been bugging me. Okay, this is real entertainment heaven. The best DVDs, some of my favorite classic movies, some recent ones as well. But what I'm really here for is the games. The games! Okay, so my nephew has been bugging me, so now I have to spend some time looking for this game that he wants. The Witcher! Yes! I found it. Wild Hunt. We're better than that. And let's see. God of War. Okay, we're getting that console. All of this stuff here is really getting me. I mean, I remember moving from Joburg to Cape Town. The nightmare of trying to sell my kitchen appliances. You upload the photos. Oh, you have to take photos of them first, then upload them. Then you have people messaging you, setting up appointments, then not showing up. Then you have to meet random people at some place who either show up or dance some really dodgy people. I should have really just come to a cash converters. I mean, look at this. A juicer, 299. A multi-cooker, 1,499 rand. It's a dream for any bachelor. And if I had sold my products, I would have walked out of here with instant cash. So as a child, my dream career changed every week, and my poor mom had to enroll me for all sorts of activities. But I realize now that changing your hobby doesn't have to be expensive. At Cash Converters, they've got such great prices. You can move from wanting to be a band member to being a more sportier person, for example. And walking through this store, I realized that, should you decide that maybe DJing isn't necessarily for you, you can simply sell the product back and walk out of the store with instant cash. I think knowing this, all the mums out there might be a little bit more forgiving should, our dreams and aspirations change. Sorry, ma'am. I have to say, I didn't see this one coming, but Cash Converters has a seriously wide range of jewelry products. They even buy and sell gold that comes with valuation certificates. That is absolutely proper. Oh, Lindy, I'm fighting the urge really hard not to buy this watch, but I think I'll just stick to the console for today, ne? Shy as cock. This is so cool. I love it. My mind is blown. Firstly, I never knew that Cash Converters has everything and you can shop it here. Secondly, I learned today that second hand doesn't mean second best. You can buy and sell the best products here. They are in such great condition at great prices, and they come with a 6-month guarantee as well, which gives you absolute peace of mind. I am so happy. You can buy and sell whatever you want at a Cash Converters. Jessica, I'm out. Yebo! Well, as you can see, secondhand is not second best. And here's some exciting news for you at home. If you send us a fun photo of yourself in a Cash Converter store, buying, selling, or simply just browsing, you stand a chance of winning 2,000 Rand in cold, hard, instant cash. So get yourself to a store as soon as possible this weekend. Take a picture of yourself, a fun picture. Post it on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3, or Twitter at Expresso Show. And you'll find that competition post over there. And that cash might just be yours. Terms and conditions do apply. And you can find them on expressoshow.com. The competition will end on the 19th of March midday. So while we take a quick break, you think about what you're going to be buying next.
Who says second-hand is second best? At Cash Converters, you can buy top brands at bargain prices and sell your goods for instant cash. Find your smooth fortune with Tropica. Buy a Tropica, follow the entry details on the pack, and stand a chance to win your share of 1 million Rand in prizes, such as a trip for 2 with KLM to Amsterdam, LG G8X cell phones, LG TVs and dishwashers, guest vouchers, guest watches and accessories, plus the smooth grand prize of a Suzuki Ignis. The more Tropica you buy, the more chances you have to win. Tropica, nothing smoother.
Welcome back, all you beautiful people, right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show on SABC3. Happy World Sleep Day if you have been missing out on the show this morning. Now, when it comes, or it seems like we do not have enough hours in the day, because often that does happen, sleep is often neglected. Now, what we tend to forget is how important sleep is for our overall health and our well-being. Now, Dr. Del Rey, sleep scientist and director of sleep science at the University of Cape Town, joins us this morning to answer our burning questions on sleep, from why it's important to what exactly happens during sleep paralysis, and are naps really bad for you? And I think that's a question you want to know. But if you have any questions at home, head on over to our social media pages and let us know what you think about this conversation. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Happy World Sleep Day, Dr. Ray.
Thanks very much for having me.
Is that a thing? Should we say Happy World Sleep Day?
Well, I do think it's important to try and think about it and raise awareness around sleep.
And that's exactly why you're here. We are excited to learn all of these questions. But the first question that everyone wants to know is, how much should one sleep at night to function optimally the next day?
Okay, so I know no one's going to like this answer, but I'm going to give you the raw truth, and then we can take it from there. So the recommendations are currently that adults in our age range, so up to about 65, need 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. But hold on a second, let me just qualify this a little bit before you have a complete heart attack. So the recommendations actually are not that every human must get 8 hours, because a lot of people think that's the magic number to aim for. But they actually say that there's a continuum of how much sleep we need, and that my sleep need is different to your sleep need. So you might be a shorter sleeper, I might be a longer sleeper, and it's really important to figure that out and to go with it. But they also say that for some people 6 hours is sufficient, and for other people 10 is necessary. So it's actually a good old bell-shaped distribution, and we all have very, very different sleep needs. And you might find that your sleep need even changes. For example, in winter, have you ever noticed that you need a little bit more sleep than in summer? Yeah. And when we're sick, obviously, we need a little bit more sleep, and sometimes when we're a bit more stressed. But it definitely changes in different circumstances. And the important thing to remember is that those 7 to 9 hours is the sleep that you need for optimal physical health and mental health and optimal daytime functioning.
It's so weird, though, and I can actually relate, because sometimes you'll sleep 4 hours and you'll feel so fresh in the morning, and sometimes you'll sleep 8 hours and be more tired than anything. But what happens if you don't get that optimal amount of hours in the night?
Okay, that's a really good question. So once off here and there, absolutely no problem. But over time, we accumulate something called sleep debt. So if you're continually missing your
debt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Think about financial debt. So if you're continually missing your sleep target and continually being underslept, you go into something called sleep debt. And your body monitors that. It's actually relatively generous, and it writes off a large amount of that debt. But over time, eventually, it decides this and this is not enough. And it'll either force you to crash one way or another so that you can do some catching up. But much more important than that are the long-term consequences of insufficient sleep. And this, I think, is what we're only beginning to learn about right now. So we know that over many, many years, if we don't get enough sleep or enough good quality sleep, that we're at increased risk for heart disease, for metabolic disease like diabetes. We're more likely to have weight gain, and then there's a number of cognitive decline issues that go along with lack of sleep as well. And so I think it's tricky, because sleep's really easy to abuse. We can abuse it today like crazy, but the knock-on effects we're only going to probably really feel 10 years down the line or so.
And then, doctor, what are the signs of sleep deprivation, for example, if you feel like you haven't had sufficient sleep, or you are actually in sleep debt in that phase?
Yeah, so there's a number of things I ask people to check for. I mean, the most obvious thing is your daytime function. At the end of the day, we don't really care about what happens at nighttime. We go to sleep, we expect our bodies to do their thing, and we want to wake up feeling refreshed. And then throughout the day, you want to be on your A game. So at the end of the day, if you have insufficient sleep, you'll find that things like you can't multitask so well. You might start to forget things. Your short-term memory begins to get impaired. You might find that you are just wishing desperately for a nap at any time of the day, even if you've literally just woken up. You'll find your mood starts to go. You're a lot more less tolerant, more grumpy. Some people experience that more seriously in forms of depression, for example. So a number of these things sort of start to rack up. And one of the sure signs, or two of the sure signs, are firstly, if you fall asleep within 5 minutes. So it feels efficient, head hits the pillow, gone, great. But actually, that's a sign that you're falling asleep too quickly. Should take 5 to 20 minutes to fall asleep. So that's a sign that you're in sleep debt. And one of the other things is that when you have free days, the days where you don't need to be at work or you've got no commitments, if you extend your sleep by more than an hour and a half, say, that's called catch-up sleep. And that's another sure sign that what you're doing during the week or your regular sleep patterns are probably insufficient for you.
I want to get into a bit about that a bit later on, but also about insomnia and sleep deprivation. But we're going to continue this conversation in part 2 of our Sleep Day chat. It is World Sleep Day here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. So connect with us again if you have any questions for Dr. Ray. She'll be back a little later on.
Well, welcome to the sleepy edition of the Culinary Hotline Bling. Sing, sing, sing. Oh, yes. Well, did you know that what you eat or drink can have an impact on your sleeping patterns? Yes, it's true. It's so, so true. Here to share more on this interesting topic and to guide us on what food to avoid and what food to eat before you go to bed is Helene Meyer. Good morning, Helene. Good to
morning.
have you once again here.
Thank you.
So we're talking all things sleep this morning, and we're talking about foods now that can help you sleep or help you not be able to sleep, right?
Yeah, that's something a lot of people don't always think about, but it is indeed something to consider every single day.
Absolutely. So, but what role does sleep, or food rather, play in sleep?
I think the most important thing that people need to understand is that firstly, we're all different.
Yeah.
So what I can have before I go to bed is maybe different to what you can have.
Yeah.
But that it does have an effect on your system, because if you eat something that's difficult to digest, it's going to keep your brain busy and your stomach busy digesting, while your brain should actually relax and help you sleep.
And you're wondering why you're tossing and turning.
Yes, or you feel bloated the whole evening or the whole night through because you ate the wrong food, and now you don't settle into a deep sleep. So it can really have an effect on how well rested you feel the next morning.
I can imagine so many people now watching TV who probably didn't have a very well-rested sleep, wondering what food should I be avoiding? What food should we be avoiding before going to sleep?
Okay, the typical things that you would look at is a very heavy meal or a very rich meal. Sometimes you would hear people say, oh, I had a big steak last night shortly before going to bed, and I just didn't sleep well.
Yeah.
So if you avoid things that's difficult to digest for your body.
Yeah.
Obviously, caffeine is
it's a big one. It's a totally big one.
Some people don't get affected that much by it. Too much alcohol. You may fall asleep very easily, but then you find that you wake up after a few hours and then you struggle to fall asleep again.
And you wake up and you're exhausted in the morning as well.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay. So, oh yes, is there more? Is there
well,
more?
There's plenty, but some people find that very spicy food makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Other people find that a lot of sugar definitely affects them, and that comes in refined starches, the obvious things like chocolates, cookies, pudding, that sort of thing, because it raises your blood sugar level, and again, your body thinks that it needs to wake up and be active and have energy while you're supposed to sleep and rest and sort of restore all your levels before you wake up the next morning.
Well, let's just put it that way. That pop at 10 p.m. is never a great idea. It'll do nothing good for you. Okay, so what should we be eating then? What should we be eating? I see you've brought some nice things here.
Some of the things that's associated with very good brain function, which is a very important element for good sleep, are the ingredients high in healthy oils, like almonds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and then green leafy vegetables are very high in calcium, magnesium, and vitamin B6, which is important for us, all playing a role in the hormones that our body produces to help us sleep and to maintain sleep. And that's a very important thing, is that you eat foods that help you stay asleep and that you are well rested the next morning. So not the refined starches, maybe a whole grain. If you do want to have pap before going to bed, have a coarse mealie meal, not a refined mealie meal.
And also portion control.
Yes, and then healthy oils. Have olive oil or avocado oil over your food so that you do consume that. Avocado, berries, high in antioxidants, things that makes it easy for your body to rest and to digest. And to really build the levels of important nutrients and vitamins that you need.
And the energy that you're going to need. Helene Meyer, there's so much of the information that you can share with with us, of course. And you can connect with her on her social media at Helene, Mayor of Food. So the key takeout is this morning, sip a cup of chamomile tea or even rooibos tea. That late night cup of coffee before you go to bed is maybe not a great idea. But of course, a little later, Helene is going to be sharing with us her health bowl recipe, which she believes is great in ensuring a good night's sleep. So stay tuned.
Looking for immune support? Remain at your peak all year round with Immuenza.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, everybody. Now you know when you hear that sound, it's time for us, our Expresso family, to wish you, our loved and loyal viewers, a very happy birthday. It is Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Friday the 13th.
Friday dance day.
Oh, yes.
So much is going on. But if you are celebrating your birthday, you are celebrating with a special sambare.
Absolutely. Here's a fun fact. You're celebrating your birthday today with Tristan Thompson. He turns 29 years old today. Of course, he is a Canadian basketball player. He plays power forward for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He is the baby daddy to Khloe Kardashian's baby girl, True Thompson, and also a father to Jordan Craig's son, Prince. Hey, Tristan has been on the low on social media after the whole Jordan Wood scandal that ensued on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. We all remember that.
Yes, we do.
Oh man, but we still see him putting in the work to keep shape for the season, and he remains being the best father to his daughter and son. And for all of that, and for being such an awesome guy, otherwise, we wish him a very, very happy birthday. Happy birthday, Tristan Thomas.
A very controversial guy at that also, but we're not going to get into all of that drama. Right now, we're going to get into wishing you, our loved viewers, very happy birthday. This one goes to Mikhail. Happy 8th birthday to my handsome, loving grandson, Mikhail January. May you have a blessed, a beautiful life ahead. You are such an amazing little boy. Love you lots. Happy birthday. Now this one goes to JC Lee. As I see you growing to the beautiful young lady that you're becoming, I feel so proud and blessed as your mom. Happy birthday, my princess. Enjoy your day. Love you always. From your mom, dad, and your brother. Happy birthday.
Guys, it's also Shamia's birthday today. It's a 7th birthday to Shamia. Happy birthday, Shamia Larisse Milligan. I hope you have a lovely day. Enjoy your party with love from Pa, Mummy, Ma, and the rest of the family. Happy birthday, beautiful girl. And then Daniel, it says, feels geluk, mag die Here jou ryklik seën met geluk, vreugde, liefde, gezondheid en al jou drome waar word. Jy is kosbaar, lekker verjaag, liefde jou familie. Happy birthday. This is for Daniel. Happy birthday, Daniel.
Well done.
Yes. Hello.
Shout out. You guys have Afrikaans and Amanskral.
Oh my word. And then it's also Ellen's birthday.
Ellen's birthday.
Happy 61st, right?
Absolutely. Happy 61st birthday to Ellen. May our Heavenly Father bless you with love, peace, joy, and health. We couldn't ask for a better mom in our lives. We love you with all of our hearts, from all your kids and grandkids. Israel is also celebrating his birthday. We wish our handsome prince, annoying brother, drummer boy, people's person, Israel, a happy birthday. Never a dull moment with you, my boy. We love you for bringing all the sunshine in our lives from your mommy and your sister Zion.
Oh, you can
just
see
look
he
at
is
him.
a ray
He's a troublemaker.
a troublemaker, definitely, but a ray of sunshine indeed. It's also a 10th birthday to Zachary, our super cool son. Happy birthday, Zachary Scritton. Continue being the positive spirit that has touched our lives in so many ways. Love, Mom. Dad Lyle Scritton from Travel Start, guys.
Oh,
Lyle
wow.
Scritton, brother Wyatt, and the rest of your family and friends. It's also Caitlin's birthday, and it reads, this is how the message goes. We can only give God the glory for another year. Wish my baby a birthday that is as beautiful, incredible, and as unique as you are. Happy birthday, my daughter. Love you lots. This is from your mummy, your daddy, Ludwil, Michael, Danique, and Ava. Happy birthday, Caitlin.
Chelsea celebrating her 11th birthday today. May God bless you with many more. Have an awesome day, and we love you lots, Bunny Buns, from your mom, Gran, Casey, and Luke. And lastly, but definitely not least, a very special one, a very happy first birthday to the gorgeous baby Ira. We pray that God always keeps you happy, healthy, and safe. We love you to the moon and back from Neha and family.
She is muy adorable. Muy
very
adorable.
adorable.
Happy birthday. Well, listen, if you have a loved one celebrating their birthday too, maybe it's your birthday, and you want us to put it on your Feel Good Breakfast show, send us a WhatsApp, a 10-second to 15-second video on WhatsApp to 071-6406-551. Of course, you can also email us birthdays@kadova.tv with all those birthday wishes. And if it is your birthday today, we wish you a very, very happy birthday. Time for the news. Mwah.
Okay, sweetie, time to blow out your candles.
Don't ruin the moment. Prevent allergies or cold and flu with fast-acting powder nasal spray from the Nexa range. Nexa, brought to you by Pharma Dynamics.
Welcome to our 7 o'clock bulletin. It has just entered the second hour of the show, and we broach our local news. First, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange yesterday saw what many say is its worst day in more than 2 decades, losing almost 10%. Sasol's share price lost 40% of its value in opening trade yesterday morning. Share price briefly dipped below 30 Rand from 470 Rand less than a year ago. The share price has now lost almost 95% of its value since April last year. In a week of stocks crashing across the world, Sasol has been the worst performing share in all of the emerging markets. In keeping it local, Health Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize yesterday announced that an additional 4 cases of coronavirus have been confirmed in South Africa. He added that the Free State man who had previously tested positive was in fact not infected, which revised the number in the country from 17 to 16. He reiterated the World Health Organization's call to take preventative measures to stop the spread of the virus, such as washing hands often and for 20 seconds, avoid touching your face with unwashed hands, and using a tissue to cover one's mouth when coughing or sneezing. Then on the international front, but staying with the coronavirus news, meanwhile, Italy, with more than 1,000 deaths and 15,000 infections, has ordered the closure of all shops except pharmacies and supermarkets in a bid to slow the outbreak of the coronavirus. President Donald Trump's travel ban on 26 European countries has been met with anger and confusion by EU leaders. Elsewhere, the Republic of Ireland has closed all schools. India has stopped issuing travel visas, and multiple Oscar-winning actor Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson have both tested positive for the virus while in Australia. Then the security situation in the Sahel region of Africa is rapidly deteriorating. US officials have warned this week terror attacks by Islamist militants against civilians and military targets have shown a sharp rise in Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger. The Sahel is an area south of the Sahara Desert spanning 10 countries from Senegal to the west, to Eritrea in the east. In 2019 alone, violence in the area left more than 2,000 civilians dead. And now, on the positive side, news of a Franschhoek wine producer's envisaged swim. Rob Armstrong's a wine producer from Franschhoek. He is preparing to swim from Robben Island to Big Bay to raise funds for an animal sterilization program. Rob was inspired by another local, Peter Leal, who did the same swim 2 years ago and raised some much-needed funds for the Watershed Animal Organization. The Watershed is a non-profit organization that has a sterilization outreach program to assist many animals, as many as possible, by getting them sprayed. Armstrong says the organization does great animal rehabilitation work as well in the townships. The organization's volunteers sterilize some 40 animals a day free of charge. And they aim to prevent unwanted animals ending up in the streets and facing neglect. Armstrong also hopes to raise awareness of the suffering of neglected animals across the province in the same process. So we certainly wish him well. That's where we leave our headlines for now. Let's delve into the sport. Well, we start with breaking news in the world of motorsport. Coming from the Formula One circuit, this weekend's season-opening Australian Grand Prix has been called off due to the coronavirus outbreak. Teams, drivers and crew had already made their way to Melbourne for the race scheduled to take place overseas over this weekend. This news follows McLaren's withdrawal from the race on Thursday after one of their team members tested positive for the coronavirus. On the cricketing front, the first one-day international match between India and the Proteas was abandoned without a ball being bowled in Dharamsala yesterday. Heavy rains poured down before the scheduled start and returned before the toss was taking place, which resulted in the match being abandoned. So the second ODI between South Africa and India will take place this coming Sunday at 10 a.m. in Lucknow. On to rugby. All four South African franchises will be in action for the 7th round of Super Rugby taking place over the weekend. The Lions are the first local team in action when they start their New Zealand tour with a clash against the Blues in Auckland early tomorrow morning. The Bulls will then take on the Reds in Australia before the local derby at Kings Park between the Sharks and the Stormers. That's at 3:05. On to football. The Nedbank Cup quarterfinals will kick off this evening when the Rail Kings play host to the Bidvest Wits team at the Sugar Ray Kulu Stadium at 8 p.m. There'll be two fixtures to look out for tomorrow, with Baraka FC up against the first team to advance to the last 8, Black Leopards. That match will be followed by the massive clash between Highlands Park and Mamelodi Sundowns, and that kicks off at 6 p.m. And the last of the quarterfinals will be played on Sunday when TS Sporting welcome Blom Celtic to the Kanamazane Stadium, and that's as well kicking off at 3 p.m. And staying with football news, UEFA Europa League football continued last night with Manchester United thrashing Austrian Association Football Club Linzer Athletic Sport Club 5-0 in the first leg of their round of 16. The match took place at an empty Linzer Stadion in Austria due to concerns over the coronavirus outbreak. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side is now unbeaten in their last 11 games in all competitions. The second leg is scheduled to take place next Thursday at Old Trafford. We'll run through those sporting headlines and news headlines again in about an hour or so. Right now, let's take another look at the roads.
The time is now 7:06. It's time to have the first look at what's happening on the roads. Starting off in Gauteng, four ways on the N1 southbound. There has been an accident before William Nicol Drive. 2 lanes are currently obstructed. Please approach with caution. Down to the Western Cape, Guguletu, there is a stationary vehicle on the N2 inbound after Borchard's Quarry. The right lane is obstructed. Please allow for an extended travel time this morning. Now lastly, Metro Rail Northern Line, all inbound and outbound Wellington trains have been rerouted to operate via the Monte Vista line due to Eskom load shedding at neutral. Please be on the lookout for this. That's your 7 o'clock traffic roundup. Right now it's time to have another look at the weather with Jamie.
Thank you so much, Kutle. Happy Friday the 13th, and we've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures this morning, as we always do. One of them came through from Pat Sunkel, who sent us this gorgeous blue skyline from Durban, where you can expect times of sun and clouds with very humid conditions and warm temperatures reaching a maximum of 28 degrees. It's going to be a hot day out in Durban. Another picture came through from Nancy Govender, who sent us the skyline from Umkomaas in KZN, where you can also expect times of sun and clouds with very humid conditions, reaching a maximum as well of 28 degrees. But right now, let's take a look at the rest of the country, starting off in Polokwane. Your low is 16, peaking at 29 degrees today. High humidity can be expected for you, Umbumbela, ranging from 19 to 28 degrees. Pretoria, 16, 27, and then light drizzle is expected for you, Johannesburg, with a low of 15 and a maximum of 25. Mahikeng, 17, 27, and then high humidity expected today for you, Klerksdorp, with a low of 15 and a high of 24. A northwesterly wind of 20 kilometers per hour for you, Kimberley, ranging from 14 to 26 degrees, and then heavy rainfall coming through for Bloemfontein today with a low of 14 and a maximum of 25. Richards Bay, 23.32, Pietermaritzburg, 17.28, and then a northeasterly wind of 13 kilometers per hour expected for South Africa's playground, Durban, with a low of 23, peaking at 28 degrees. Mthatha, 15.28, and then a northeasterly wind of 23 kilometers per hour for you, East London, with a low of 20 and a high of 29. Thunder showers expected for you, Craddock, today, with a low of 15 and a high of 31. High humidity also coming through for PE Port Elizabeth today, with a low of 18, reaching a maximum of 28. George, 16.25, and the cooler start of the morning can be found in Sutherland with a low of 8 and a high of 26. If you find yourself in the mother city, Cape Town, today, your range is 15, peaking at 22. Worcester, 14.30. Springbok, 9.26. And the highest temperature in the country, as most of the time, is found in Uppington today with a low of 16, peaking at 35. Whatever the weather, wherever you find yourself today, make sure that you make it count.
So this is blowing our minds as we get all of the details on this particular story, and it does bring a lot of joy to our hearts because I think they've had a lot of joy in their lives. As you should know by now, in partnership with Samsung, we have been running probably the best competition ever. They said, go buy yourself a brand new Galaxy S20. I've been using my S20 and it's just insane. Yeah. But they were giving you guys the chance of winning a Samsung QLED TV worth a cool 45,000 Rand. Well, they extended this generosity around the country with the same competition and gave other people the chance to win as well.
Now listen to this, okay? A couple in Joburg, Daniela and Anthony, presenter both. They both bought a Samsung Galaxy S20 and they entered the draw in Sandton City to win a Samsung QLED TV, all right? So in the 1 p.m. draw that afternoon, Anthony was selected as the winner. Okay, no problem, fine, we're okay. And then 2 hours later, at 3 p.m., by some miraculous chance, his wife Daniela was drawn out of thousands of people in Sandton as the second winner. I mean, what kind of luck is this?
Are there any actuarial scientists watching right now that can please work out the odds? And then just when you think that's it isn't. Okay, they're also expecting twins this year. And if you think that's it, well, it's not. They have cracked at least 5 double yolks. Look at that. And those are actual photos this year. And we are very pleased and quite mind blown to have them on the line as we speak to explain their doubles. A very good morning, Daniela, Anthony, are you there?
Good morning, Graham. It's Before.
Hey, good morning, guys. Well, first of all, I mean, I'm just glad to get the chance to speak to you guys. Hopefully all of this luck of yours can rub off on all of us here. But double phones, double TVs, Daniela, double yolks, and then twins as well in 2020. How on earth are you doing this? How do you do this? What are you doing there? What are you eating? What are you bathing in?
It's definitely not planned. You know, obviously, say for the purchase of the 2 phones and that we wanted a second child and we got blessed with 2, the yolks and the TVs were certainly not expected or planned.
Wow. Can I say, first of all, congratulations on the twins. That really is special and beautiful. So congratulations on being expected parents. But when we look at the draw itself, what made you stick around for the second draw? By this stage, were you thinking, okay, well, everything's coming in 2s, we might as well stick around?
Yeah. So I had some errands to run, and you know, after I looked at the time, it was time for the draw, and my spider sense kicked in, and I thought, let me just stick around for the second one.
As your spidey sense must be off the charts now, dude.
This is insane. But let's talk about the eggs, guys. We have to talk about the eggs. Is this just 2020 luck for you guys, or have you always been this lucky? Please be honest with us.
So I love to bake, and I bake as often as I can.
Yeah.
And any baker will know that it's really unusual to find double yolks. And when I was making this creme brulee in particular, every egg I cracked had a double egg yolk.
Wow.
So definitely something unique for 2020.
All out of the same batch.
I'm just saying, if you're going to enter the lotto, enter Powerball as well. I'm just going to throw that out there.
And both enter it.
And both of you
both have tickets.
Well. I'm going to say again, just to reiterate, as an expectant parent, congratulations again on the twins. Is the new QLED TV going to go in their room? Just to say thank you?
Yes, it will go into the room, into our children's playroom. So we've already got a 2-year-old, so it will go into their playroom so they can all enjoy it.
I think you've earned a man cave at this stage, Anthony, man. You've earned that. So what's next, man? What's are you going to enter any new competitions? Do you think this luck is going to ride?
Look, we normally don't enter competitions. It was a spur of the moment. So, yeah,
We'll see what comes our way for the rest of 2020. I believe that our luckiest moment this year is certainly going to be the birth of our 2 healthy twins.
Yes.
But we welcome anything else positive that can come our way.
Yeah. Just put that calm out there, put that info out into the universe. Guys, congratulations
Daniela and Anthony.
Thank you so
This is fantastic. And look at what these twins are bringing into your world in 2020. We love it, all this positivity. But of course, lightning does, in fact, strike twice sometimes. So there's a bit of luck and hope and inspiration for you all out there to get entering. And who knows, if you entered our competition to win the 65 Samsung QLED TV, join us on Monday morning for the exciting announcement. It could be you that walks away with the TV.
Money, money. Money, money. Money, money.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso right here on SABC 3. Thank you so much for choosing to start your morning with us right here. Now, happy World Sleep Day to everyone watching right now. We are joined by Dr. Dale Ray, who is a sleep scientist and director of sleep science at the University of Cape Town, who's going to help us unpack this, our sleeping patterns and the importance to get sufficient sleep at night.
Yeah, I think the one thing when people think sleep and disorders of it is always insomnia and sleep paralysis. So, like, what is insomnia? What does it mean?
Okay, so insomnia is the most common sleep disorder for sure. People usually have a problem trying to fall asleep, or otherwise they can fall asleep fine, but they can't maintain sleep. Have you ever noticed that somewhere between about 1 and 3 in the morning, you wake up, and if you've got a racing mind or things on your mind, or you're feeling stressed or anxious, you often can't go back to sleep again. That's very common. And then the third type is when you wake up too early. So you might wake at 3 or 4 in the morning and then you're unable to go back to sleep again. So insomnia is really tricky, and it's actually quite debilitating because its knock-on effects on your daytime fatigue are massive. And the trick with insomnia, or the way that we think about it now, is that it's not so much a condition. It's not that I catch or I get or I have insomnia or I am an insomniac, but rather something else is causing the symptoms of you being unable to sleep or to maintain sleep. And so when it comes to resolving insomnia, it's really, really important that you have to do a bit of digging to figure out what's happening which can cause me not to sleep. It could be a physiological or biological reason, and it could be a psychological reason. There are any number of things that could have triggered it. And it can be short-term. Many of us will have 1 or 2 nights of insomnia. I'm sure that you can relate to that pesky mosquito or some nasty work deadline which has kept you up at night, and that's fine. We just go with that. If that happens once or twice every now and then, no problem. But it's the chronic insomnia that we're much more concerned about. And 10 to 15% of people have chronic insomnia. And so it really is a debilitating condition.
And what are some other types of sleep disorders that are out there, most common ones? And also, how can they be how can you actually spot that this is a sleeping disorder?
Sure. So the second most common sleeping disorder is a breathing-relating sleep disorder called obstructive sleep apnea. Many people don't know about it. And in fact, 80% of people that have apnea don't even know that they have it. So it's underdiagnosed. So what happens is at nighttime, you'll be snoring away. So if you're a big snorer, you could well have apnea. And the next thing is you'll stop breathing because your upper airways collapse, and then your body shoots out adrenaline, forces you to gasp or snort, and you start breathing again. And that can happen 10, 15, 20, 30 times an hour. And what it does is it creates incredibly shallow, disrupted sleep, which has excessive or knock-on effects on your daytime sleepiness, but it puts huge strain on your cardiovascular system. And that's what we're mostly worried about in the long term.
Yeah. It's also like with your activity during the day, I feel like when you're very busy during the day, you struggle to fall asleep. Why does this happen? Like, does it mean that if you're having a chill day, you're going to go to bed better? But if you have a more active day, you struggle at night?
So it just depends what you mean by active. But if you mean active as in mentally, busy, exactly, then we can just be overstimulated. And I mean, you think about kids that are overstimulated, we're never going to get them to sleep. So it's much the same for us. So in order to be able to flick that switch and to go into a decent sleep, we really need to have quite a calm, come-down space, and we need to be able to relax. And I think one of the primary reasons that people struggle with sleep is that they have too much stress or too much anxiety or too much on their mind, and they literally are holding too much stuff. And often during the daytime, as we suppress all of that because we're busy, we've got to do a whole lot of things. But at nighttime, when you sort of start to sleep, then everything that's in your subconscious comes up, it bubbles up, and it starts to create worry or concern. And so that can make it really hard for you to relax. Because in order to sleep, you essentially need to let your guard down. You need to be completely vulnerable so that you can have good sleep.
On that note, we're going to expand a little much more on it. Especially, I want to know about sleep paralysis, what it is, why it happens to you, especially when you are taking a nap. But we'll continue that conversation with Dr. Dale Ray a little later on, just shedding some light on the importance of sufficient sleep.
Well, the seasons are changing, and there's a lot of new hues this season that we're seeing, especially if we look at homeware for autumn-winter 2020. We can expect to see a lot of mossy greens, washed teals and soft greys. These really are colors that will create a calming and restful feeling, yet an inviting and inspiring space. Now, joining me in studio this morning to discuss the autumn-winter 2020 homeware trends is art director Ian Martin. Ian, good morning.
Morning, Tabisa. How are you?
Very good, very good. All the more better for seeing a bed. So so luxurious in front of me here.
And comfortable.
Absolutely comfortable. I'm sure I'm ready to just jump on it. But of course, Ian, as we enter autumn, we can already start feeling that the temperatures are dropping a little bit. This means we need to start layering up a little bit when we go to bed. It means that we need to start looking at different types of bedding and linen and all of that. What are some of the bedroom trends that we can expect to see this season?
I think the thing is, winter is all about warmth and comfort. And what you want to do in your home is you want to create a sanctuary, particularly in your bedroom. And I think the trends that are coming through is from a color point of view, as you said, it's your shades of green. So those mossy greens, the teals, that kind of thing. And then a lot of the grays that are also there. And also, as far as prints are concerned, like you guys have got in studio, you've got the foliage thing going.
Yes.
Foliage is still going to be there. Obviously,
that's trendy, eh?
Yeah, it's still trending. They're just going, the prints are going a bit bigger.
Yeah.
So it's a bit darker, it's a bit more sumptuous and luxurious.
They're bold, but they're really also not very overbearing as well, which is fantastic, right? Woolies, as they would do, Woolworths always does seem to be able to come out with this season after season. They've come out with some really luxe textures that we can expect. Talk me through the pieces and elements that we're seeing on this bed that you've used to create this luxurious sanctuary of a bed.
Sure. I mean, if we're talking bedding, start with the bed linen.
Yeah.
As far as the Woolies bed linen goes, it's beautiful brushed cotton. You're going to get it in a range of colors. Whatever the size of your bed is, they're going to have it for you. And then you start looking at things like layering. So it's not just about that initial bed linen that you do. You kind of create the layers, and that's where your throws come in. So either in like a chenille that's going to be in a colorway that's
There's nothing better than it.
Yeah, the lights. It's that light kind of warmth that you need when it's not a hell of a big blanket.
Yeah.
And then there's something like a little bit more braver, like the faux fur. I mean, it's a little bit more dramatic.
Yes.
It makes much more of a statement. And I mean, you got to feel this guy. It feels like it's almost like it's alive. You just want to. You
feel like it's
You just
alive.
want to cuddle.
You
really.
want to cuddle
you want
with
to cuddle.
it. This is beautiful.
And then it's not related to the bedroom directly, but is the Woolies towels. Again, colorways. They're super absorbent, they don't fade, and all the cotton is made in Africa and it's sustainably sourced.
It's nice and thick as well. I love that about a towel. Okay, so Ian, we know that your bedroom is really the one place where you can truly be yourself, where you truly can relax. What advice do you have for people looking to sort of make their bedroom space more homely? How can you achieve that?
I think what you want to do is, again, we go back to that sanctuary. It's that space of comfort.
Yeah.
You want to retire to that safe space.
Yeah.
So things like foliage are very helpful. Things like textures, make it warm, make it inviting. Even if you have like a minimal bedroom, you can bring in a texture that kind of just softens it. It's the place you want to go to, like when you've had a rough day, you kind of just want to kick back and relax.
The nice thing is we can tell that there's something for everyone. So if you're more the dramatic aesthetic type of person that wants the comfort still, the faux fur, for example, would work for you. And of course, those throws are absolutely amazing. But like with any place, if you're going to be transforming it and updating it, there are do's and don'ts. So what are do's and don'ts that you can share with our viewers this morning?
I think, sure, do's and don'ts. Don't be afraid of dark colors. People think, if you paint your bedroom wall a dark color, it's going to make your room small.
Yeah.
It's the complete opposite. Dark colors are actually going to give you that depth. You don't have that spatial perception anymore, so things feel bigger than they actually are. It's a little bit of a trick. And what I would say is don't, like I've done today, just for the demonstration, don't cover your bed in scatter cushions. It's not realistic. You want to crash into bed. You don't have to take 18
and throw them all on the floor.
Exactly. So choose wisely. There's huge ranges. They make statements. You don't have to cover the bed in the scatter cushions.
I think what you're showing me this morning is that sometimes updating the aesthetic and the look and feel of your bedroom isn't just in the color of your walls. You can do simple things like accessorizing your bedroom and finding these interesting pieces and colors and textures that really do lift it. Thank you so much, Ian. You're a rock star, man. Transform your bedroom out there at home into a place where you can relax and recharge. Create a self-care space, your very own sanctuary. Curl up with luxe layers and soft textures this season from Woolworths. It's the Autumn-Winter 2020 homeware collection. Of course, you can shop all of these items you've seen here and more at Woolworths in-store, online, as well as on the Woolies app. Go do it now.
Who says second-hand is second best? At Cash Converters, you can buy top brands at bargain prices and sell your goods for instant cash.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. So we're about to delve into the world of golf. The South African Women's Open was first played in 1988. It's the oldest and most prestigious, undoubtedly, professional women's golf tournament in the country. The Open is sanctioned by the Women's PGA of South Africa and the Ladies European Tour and is played as part of the Sunshine Ladies Tour. Let's give you a bit of a preview.
Well, a very good morning from my side. We're coming to you live right now from the Westlake Golf Club for the 2020 edition of the South African Women's Open. First played in 1988, making it the oldest and most prestigious professional women's golf tournament in the country. That is sanctioned, of course, by the Women's PGA of South Africa and the LT, or the LET, the Ladies European Tour, and brings together rookies, professionals, of course, all vying for the title. And I'm joined right now by two very excited ladies who are getting ready for the big weekend ahead. Zethu Miyeki, South African professional golfer, as well as Charlotte Thompson, all the way from England. A very good morning to both of you ladies, and thanks for making the time. I know that you're in your routine this morning, getting ready to tee off, but in terms of the weekend ahead, what's the feeling, what's the excitement like for you right now? Zethu, let me start with you.
I'm really excited. This is my second SA Open. I played last year as an amateur. It's my first year as a pro. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. Yesterday was the first round. I didn't do as much but today is another day. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Charlotte, what about you? This is also your return to the South African Women's Open.
It is indeed. It's so nice to be back. The people and everything is so friendly. The place is amazing. The weather has been perfect for the tournament. A little bit different for the practice rounds, but for the tournament we can't complain.
Yeah.
So really looking forward to a couple more days, and we're doing some sightseeing this afternoon as well, so we get both sides, so it's really good.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear that. In terms of the confidence in your own game going into the weekend, where does it lie? And also, I mean, your goals that you've set for yourself for the weekend, what are you looking to achieve?
For me, I mean, I haven't been playing my best golf this season, but it's golf, it happens. Today I'm just going to take it one shot at a time and see how it goes.
I'm very similar. I didn't play my best golf yesterday, but the scoring is quite bunched, so it's still out there for anyone to take, and obviously there's still 2 more rounds to go, so it's all to play for.
Yeah, absolutely. Zethu, I want to focus a little bit on you just for a moment to talk about your story, because you've had an incredible trajectory from your days starting off in development golf to where you are right now, playing as a pro. What has that journey been like?
It hasn't been an easy journey, but I believe if you believe in something, you've got to follow your heart and do it. But I mean, with the help of SAGDP, Border Ladies, NL's Foundation, Women's Golf South Africa, I mean, I wouldn't be where I am now. I'm really grateful that they gave me opportunities to actually be where I am right now.
Absolutely. And Charlotte, for you, looking at Zethu playing in her first as a pro South African Women's Tournament, what would be some of your advice that you might give to her?
I mean, she seems to have got it in her head, sussed as well as she said. Like every shot as it comes, every day is different. It's golf. We have good days, bad days. Some days your bad days are better than some of your good days. You just don't know. It's just a typical game. She knows her stuff, and it's so great to see girls coming through from all countries, and so good to see where the game is going.
Yeah. Speaking of that, and I think in the currency of the world where we are trying to raise the profile of women's sport all across the board, what would you say are some of the challenges that are being faced?
We're getting more opportunities to play, which is huge for us. All the way through from grassroots level and up, there's so many more opportunities for young girls, teenagers, women's golfers, all the way through the board. There's just a lot more opportunity, and I just hope that carries on.
Zethu, for you, dreams of South African golf, where would you like to see the sport growing, especially from a female perspective in the country?
Definitely. I mean, I'll say for now, example, the sport is growing. We got to play more tournaments even now. But I mean, getting more tournaments, because I mean, after the tour now, there's no tournaments to play. So just introducing more tournaments for the future would be great for South African golfers.
Yeah. Let's talk specifically about the South African Women's Open at the beautiful Westlake Golf Club. What are your thoughts on the tournament itself from an organizational point of view? I mean, from an aesthetic point of view, this is a beautiful looking golf course. I'm sure you're both excited to get out there.
Yeah, this is a great golf course. I mean, it's beautiful and challenging. I mean, all the organizers have done such a great work to make this possible for the players. So we're really grateful for that.
Yeah, Charlotte, I mean, you're used to playing on the Ladies European Tour. How does this setting compare to some of the ones that you're used to seeing out there?
It's amazing when the day is clear and you hit a bad shot and you look around, you sort of forget the shot that you've hit because it's just so beautiful. You get lost in the scenes, but it's an amazing golf course and it's really good, and I'm so glad to have it on our schedule.
Yeah. Could we be looking forward to seeing you back again here?
100%.
Without a doubt.
100%.
Fantastic. Oh, by the way, what does the rest of the year look like for the both of you? So let me start off with you.
For me, after this, I'm going to play some IGTs back in Joburg and golf for the Com Origins, and in December I'm hoping to go to Europe for my card to play that side.
Excellent.
Yeah, so for us it's just a full schedule on the LET. It's looking like a really positive year this year, so 2020 has been a breakthrough year for the LET, so I'm hoping we just push on through there. We've got lots of tournaments, so yeah, it's really exciting.
And I think in closing, maybe if you could just share some words of inspiration for young female golfers out there that look upon you as you know, their heroes in life and thinking, I'd like to be a Charlotte one day, I'd love to be as there too one day. What words of advice and inspiration would you have for them?
Keep practicing hard, but enjoy it. If you lose the enjoyment, that's when you'll start to play bad and things. Like, we absolutely love the game, so just keep practicing, keep working hard, but enjoy.
For me, I'd say just follow your heart. I mean, your only limit is yourself.
Yeah. Well, fantastic to have had a chat with both of you ladies. Thank you for making the time.
Thank you very much.
Good luck for the weekend ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, that is absolutely inspiring. Thank you so much, Kat Factor. Well, welcome back to the kitchen. Welcome back to the Culinary Hotline. Bling, ting, ting, ting. Yes, all three people here saying ting, ting, ting. But today we're chatting about the relationship between food and sleep. And yes, there is a relationship between food and sleep. In studio this morning is Helene Meyer. She is going to be sharing her healthy supper recipe that'll get you sleeping better and help you enjoy the meal at the same time, because it's really, really tasty. Helene, wow, this looks amazing. I mean, the colors, the goodies that are here, it looks very, very healthy.
Of course.
And that's the idea, isn't it?
It's supposed to be,
Okay,
yes,
so
definitely.
what are we making for supper? We're making it early this morning.
Yes, I'm calling it a health bowl because you can really change up the ingredients that you prefer as long as they are healthy.
Okay.
So it's a combination of steamed broccoli, but it could be green beans, it could be cauliflower, baby spinach, very healthy, raw, not cooked.
Okay.
And then some corn kernel, but you can also substitute that for something like roasted sweet potato, for instance.
Nice. Okay.
And you'll see all of these are fresh, real elements, if I can call it that.
Yes.
Nothing processed, nothing pre-prepared, nothing too refined or sweetened, so
You know
that
exactly everything comes from.
Exactly. So you can make it in a bowl like that. You can pack the ingredients separately in a bowl. What I tend to prefer is a light protein, but yet something that's filling and nutritious.
Okay, is that like a fish?
This is fish, but you could also use chicken, any lean meat, or beans, lentils, chickpeas, whatever you enjoy.
Nice.
Avocado is obviously a fantastic ingredient.
Good fats and
Yes, the
oils
healthy
that come
fats,
through
and it
from
fills you
that.
up without making it a heavy meal
Yeah.
that you struggle to digest, because that, as we discussed earlier, is the problem. You don't want to wake up from your stomach.
Yeah,
in the
wake
middle
up from your stomach.
Yeah, you do, because you're uncomfortable or you struggle to digest
heavy.
it.
I'm a big advocate for avocado, so I'm glad you mentioned that. Okay, so we're getting some oil in
Yes,
there.
also a healthy oil, either an avocado oil or an olive oil as a salad dressing.
All right.
Bit of lemon juice, again, natural, fresh ingredients. Whoops, see? Then fresh oregano, fresh parsley, and then a little touch of honey and vinegar.
The nice thing
just
is
to
you can
have
choose... Sorry, yeah, vinegar?
Yeah, vinegar and honey, just to get the balance of the different ingredients together. And a dressing normally has a bit of sweetness and a bit of...
Yes, you do want to balance out the flavors there. The nice thing is you can also really make use of a whole range of other herbs and spices,
Yes.
right? So you're not just limited to these ones. But of course, if you want to get your hands on this recipe, why don't you SMS us? SMS us now. The keyword is dish to 33728. We'll send you an SMS with a link to the recipe with all the ingredients and how to make this amazing supper bowl that Helene is showing us how to assemble and make this morning. So you're getting our fish. What did you do with this fish? Did you boil it or grill it?
No, this you can just pan fry. It could even be leftover fish from a braai. It could be something that you don't necessarily have a huge portion of left over, but once you combine it with all the other fresh elements, it becomes a beautiful meal that you can enjoy like that.
Tomatoes in there. Presentation is key. Presentation
Exactly. We eat with our eyes first, so it has to look yummy and delicious.
So what is the whole aim of this? Is it just to get like a nice balance of nutrients? Or what is the idea behind this sort of assembly of ingredients?
One of the reasons why I'm doing it like this is that you can see that you still have all the basic elements in your meal. So it's a balanced meal, whether you toss it together in a salad like that or whether it is the individual ingredients. You've got some starch, but it's not a refined starch that's going to raise your blood sugar too much. You've got a lot of ingredients that contains those vitamins and minerals that we discussed earlier that your brain needs to put you to sleep and to keep you... Yes.
The nice thing is that all of these are easily accessible as well, so there really is no excuse. They really are easily accessible, but also each and every single one of these bowls packs something so good for your body, which is fantastic for your sleep. The benefit of it is that it's not heavy and it's going to really help you with a good night's rest. When you wake up, you're not waking up, having to wake up from your stomach first before you wake up and having to charge up your brain a lot more excessively than you might need to. This is fantastic. SMS that keyword DISH to 33728. We'll send you an SMS with the recipe. So now you're adding your corn over there.
Yeah, and you can ring the changes. If you don't like herbs in the dressing, you could have added a bit of turmeric, which is a very healthy ingredient.
Yeah.
Or some cumin, which is very good for digestion. Even a bit of cinnamon and cumin combined in a dressing like this over these ingredients will be delicious. So you can have the same concept for supper. Change the protein, change the greens, maybe change a little bit of your salad, but remain... The purpose remains to have a healthy, balanced meal that's not too heavy, yet filling and nutritious.
At least how many times should one have a meal like this in the week?
Every day.
Well, there we go.
Every day.
Every single day. Supper is served. Helene, you are absolutely magic. Look at this. This is what it looks like in the end when we are done. I mean, we are going to have to taste, so we're going to put some of our dressing over there. That keyword, once again, is DISH to 33728. Should I taste? Should I give it a taste?
By all means, do that.
Do you want to as well?
Yes. And a bit of sunflower seeds, packed with good oils. Crunchy, delicious.
Absolutely, and it does taste like health, and it does taste like a good night's sleep. That's DISH to 33728. We'll see you after this. Thanks, Helene.
Pleasure.
With your support, we are now able to donate 20,000 pairs of Smart Step school shoes to children in need. Celebrate goodness when you buy a Crush. Dial the number on the pack for a chance to win your share of cash prizes and school fees. Crush, share the goodness.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Welcome back on World Sleep Day, a day we revel in here on the show because we don't get a huge amount of sleep. We're up very early in the morning, but we do really appreciate our sleep, and certainly all of the insights that we've had this morning about how important it is to, yes, get the right amount of sleep, but how you can aid your sleep with the right kind of physical routine. Good exercise, more endorphins, helps you sleep better, yes, but also it can help you wake up better in the morning. So Emma and Trevor are here to take us through some simple exercises other than my go-to, like slap myself in the face, ways that you can get yourself up and at 'em in the morning. The floor is yours.
A glass of water, remember the glass of water on the face.
Hey guys, we're back. So right now I want to take us through the routine that you should do the minute that you get out of bed. Trev,
Yep.
what do you do?
I roll
Like on the floor?
onto the floor and then stand up as quick as possible. Actually,
Don't use
no,
that
I'll be
advice.
honest, I live by the 5-second rule. You count, as your alarm goes off, you count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At 1, you don't have a choice. You have to get out. So
I love
you're out
that.
your bed,
I love that.
get going.
Okay, so after you've done the 5-second rule, which most people apply to food, but we won't get into that right now.
Or when it falls on the floor.
Yes. So you've jumped out of bed, and all I want you guys to do is literally, if you think of your body in stages, I want you to start at your toes, your ankles, your feet, and we're going to work our way up. So what I want us to do is start off with basic balance exercises and just loosening up our ankles. So you'll do clockwise and anti-clockwise, and you'll do 10 to 15. And guys, this little sequence that I'm taking you through now can take anywhere from like 2 to 5 minutes. And if you do this every single morning, I promise you're going to wake up and you are going to feel refreshed, more awake and ready for the day. Then you're going to go into heel raises. So this is literally just activating the calves. How you doing over there? Smile for the camera, boy.
Oh, I can't speak and do things at the same time.
I forgot you're a man. Okay,
Oh,
little
hey.
squats. All right, getting into the knees and then warming up those hip flexors. Make sure when you are extending up that you're squeezing your peach. Do you want to show us?
Is my peach my bum?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, it is. Turn side on so we can see a good peach. Not this way, the other way. That's great. Awesome. Now a deadlift action. So literally just dropping over. It's like a flat back. So the movement is a flat back and then squeezing the peach up again. Warming up the spine, and then side to side. So you're literally moving side to side, just waking up that body.
Oh, that's a good one.
I know, right? And while you're going through all of these exercises, again, guys, be mindful of your breathing. So you're waking up, you're gonna feel a little bit out of it, but as you're working your way up, you don't need to do much thinking. All you need to do is think of the different parts of your body and slowly but surely start waking up every muscle group, every joint, so that your body is waking up as well as your mental state. Then your shoulders are gonna go back, so you're just opening out. He definitely does this one far too often. Look how happy he is. It's weird. It's really weird.
I'm embracing this moment.
Arms, yeah. Arms around. So for the morning, I love something that is loosening. I love something that is a consistent moving action. So don't do a static stretch in the morning. Make sure that you're consistently moving.
Dynamic is the word you're looking for.
Thank you so much.
There you go.
A dynamic stretch. And I really want you guys to also focus on not only the breathing, but also starting to wake up your mental space. So while you're doing this, think of your day, start planning things out, and then lastly, you're ending off with your head, and you can just start off with some rolls. Both ways, loosening up, looking from side to side, up and down. And then you can do a couple of inhales and exhales while you're opening up your eyes. You should feel much more balanced. You should feel really grounded at this point, and your whole body should feel nice and loose.
God, I feel so relaxed now. I'm ready to go back to bed. I actually feel like I'm ready.
No.
I'll let you in on a secret. So I woke up completely late this morning, okay? So my second thought, power failure was about to kick in, literally within seconds. Jumped out of my bed, scaled one baby gate, slid down the stairs, scaled another baby gate, ran, turned the coffee machine on, and used the last 30 seconds that I had of power to get a cup of coffee, and then got into my morning. That's how I started my day. To know the most important thing is to connect with your body in the morning and breathe deeply, wake yourself up so you can embrace and tackle your day. But it does help if you've had a good night's sleep before, and that's what we're discussing right now.
We are still continuing the conversation with Dr. Dale Ray, our sleep scientist and director of sleep science at Cape Town University, talking all things sleep. I am freaked out about our conversation now. We are talking about sleep paralysis, and it's the wildest thing. I never knew that it existed, because for me, I always thought, there's a saying in Afrikaans, die spook druk jou. It's when you lay in your back and you fall asleep and then you wake up in such a panic, but that is what sleep paralysis is, right?
Yeah, so generally what happens is it happens when you're transitioning from wake to sleep, or it can go the other way around, from sleep to wake. And you'll suddenly get the sensation that you can't move at all, can't move a muscle, but your brain is active. And it's incredibly frightening when it happens for the first time, because you don't necessarily know what's going on. Some people say that they'll feel a pressure on their chest and that maybe they can't breathe. And other people might even say that out the corner of their eye, they see something in the room, like something that shouldn't be there. So they're starting to maybe even hallucinate. And sleep paralysis is relatively uncommon, and it's actually quite benign as far as we know, but it's a very frightening thing to go through. And so the thinking is that once you understand it and you can recognize it, you can almost allow yourself to say, okay, I know what you are, you're going to pass, and I'm going to be okay. But I think things just to know is that people who suffer from sleep paralysis will notice, for example, that it happens more often when they're very stressed or when they've had quite a lot of acute sleep deprivation. And sometimes people who suffer from a condition called narcolepsy also suffer from sleep paralysis.
Oh, wow, because I experience sleep paralysis, I think, more often than a normal person should. And it's quite scary, but I'm at a point where now I know what it is, I'm aware, and I allow time for it to... It's very frightening. Yeah. But does it come with sleeping positions, you know? And also, the different sleeping positions, is it related to a personality?
So sleep paralysis typically happens when we're on our back. And then in terms of general sleeping position, I mean, the real rule of thumb is if it works for you, you're comfortable, it doesn't really matter how you sleep. You can literally be upside down, and that's absolutely fine. Unless, however, you're a snorer. So snorers generally will find that they do a lot more snoring when they're on their back, so they're better off if they sleep on their side. And some people who suffer from, who either have a lot of obesity, then they generally need to be quite propped up, because sometimes that can make breathing very difficult at night time. And then you'll know if you're suffering from allergic rhinitis or postnasal drip, it's very, very difficult to sleep flat on your back then, and then you often need to be up a little bit more just to allow drainage.
Yeah. Any final words to get a good night rest? Because we all need it. We have busy schedules. In your opinion, what is a good night rest?
Sure. So I think the first thing is to recognize that sleep's really important for you and for your health and well-being, and to get to a position where you're able to prioritize it. I think that's the hardest thing. It's so easy to abuse sleep. And so once you can prioritize it, it makes everything else fall in place. So you need to decide, how much time do I need to sleep approximately? What should that timing look like? So if you're a morning person, you definitely want to have an early bedtime and an early wake-up time. And if you're a night owl, you want to have the opposite. And then you need to just be careful of the things that you do during the day so that you can foster great sleep. So if you're very sensitive to caffeine, you obviously want to be avoiding caffeine in the latter part of the day. There's some people who have no problem with caffeine, and so that's fine. You want to make sure that you're not eating too close to bedtime. So a good 2-hour gap between your last meal and sleep is a good idea. If you do evening training sessions, exercise, you don't want to exercise too close to bed. You know what it's like. You feel all amped and everything, and it's hard to come down. And then I think possibly the most important thing these days is devices, for 2 reasons. So it's the control of devices towards at the end of the day. So firstly, our devices emit a really bright light, generally, and that can suppress a hormone called melatonin. And if we don't have melatonin come up at the end of the day, we don't get the signal that it's time to go to bed, and we don't feel sleepy. And so it's the light that's coming off our devices, which is really important. But the other thing is actually just that devices are a massive distraction. And so not only do you think, oh, just one more series episode, let me just watch. So Netflix is a great thing.
Let it go.
Yeah, let it go.
Let it go.
Absolutely. But the other thing is that if you accidentally look at that last work email just before you winding down to go to bed, and now you're riled up and you're concerned about tomorrow, that's it. You're going to have a shocker. And so really creating a buffer, a good hour space of time where you do your favorite thing in the world. It doesn't matter what it is. It might be watching a series. It might be reading. It might be chatting to someone. It might be having a bath. Are we allowed to bath these days? I'm not sure. But you just want to be absolutely relaxed, doing your favorite things so that you give yourself the best possible chance to transition into good sleep.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's actually a pleasure having you and shedding some light on this very important topic that is very easy to disregard. And I hope that today, World Sleep Day, we have helped you to snap back into healthy sleeping patterns. Right now, we're going to take a quick ad break. But when we come back, there's so much more right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
So, you girls ready for this? Ready to see who's the toughest, the fastest, the strongest? Well, this is no walk in the park. Train! Come on, cats, you're on a roll. Keep going, keep going. So you think you got what it takes to beat Katlego? When I said I was training new TV personalities, all you figured you had to do was try? But I thought... You thought what, kitty cat? You can catch these two go head-to-head April 6th on Expresso in the Vitathine Adventure Race, where the men are separated from the boys. Come on, kitty cat, give me one more!
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. Follow that sound all the way to your TV, preparing for an insane dance routine with Africa Ablaze a little bit later on the show, so you want to stick around for that. But right now, we're going to get into one of the world's toughest mountain bike races. It's going to make its return to the mother city this weekend, the Cape Epic. First stage back in 2004 will enter into its 17th edition, run over 8 grueling days, cover 647 kilometers, over 15,000 meters of vertical ascent. Take that on board. It's an intense race and attracts not only elite professionals from all over the world, but it's open to amateurs as well, and that's where it gets really exciting. So here to chat about a very special project relating to the Cape Epic, please welcome former Blitzbok captain Kyle Brown, along with rider Thando Ntutu from Kayamandi, and designer Bongo Kwela, who is connected in a very different way. Gentlemen, welcome to it. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a while since you've been called an amateur. Hey, when last were you? Did you travel under the banner amateur, man?
It's nice because it doesn't come with too much expectation.
Ah, buddy. Well, I know you'll put a lot of pressure on your own shoulders going into something like this.
Too much about that.
Of course, you don't really cut the figure of a cyclist. You still seem to be carrying that sevens bulk, bro.
Talking about cutting, I haven't done enough cutting for this ride.
Dude, great to see you. Great to have all of you here. This is intense, man. This is one of the most grueling physical challenges and I've interviewed a lot of guys who have done it, pre and post. and it's tough. How prep?
2 days. Can you not make me too nervous for this bloody thing?
Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy.
We've been giving it a good go for the last couple of months. So finished rugby last year, June, and got into mountain biking. A lot of people had a good laugh when they told them I was going to Cape Epic. But this is kind of why this thing's so important to me, because this whole community around me in Stellenbosch, the guys from the BMT Fairtree racing team they've done so much work to make sure that I'm prepared, and every time I want to go ride, there's always somebody that wants to ride with me. Bike is fixed all the time. They're always making sure that I'm taken care of. So this was, I got an entry by Land Rover, and I thought this is the perfect platform for me to give back to them and show them the support that they've been giving me.
And the opportunities that come with an event like this for someone who's got a bit of a profile. There it is. You're on TV talking about it, which is such a fantastic opportunity. Thando, where did it all begin for you? Because someone who's riding on your level doesn't just get into cycling and do the epic. And you are obviously representing the Kaimandi riding team. So talk us through your journey to get to this point. Where did the love of cycling first begin, and when did you decide to level up?
Yeah, I would say it started up in 2013, there in Kaimandi in Stellenbosch. Back then we were used to say we are KTR, Kaimandi Trail Riders. Then from then, we get disappeared, we didn't have a sponsor and sort of things like that. But afterwards we just met Chris Norton. Chris Norton, the owner of the BMT bicycle shop, and I'm also working there. And then he hooked us with a sponsor from BMT Fairtree. Then so they take us forward. That's where it all begins, and it also begins with me, Thando, Unatim Sopi, and Bongani Pusakwe, and Tembisile Mtinsilana. That was where then we recruit.
OGs.
Yeah, that's the OGs. Yeah. Then we recruit all these youngsters and stuff like Luyanda Toby Cunha, Lorenzo Leroux. See our first guys. That's where we get our way forward.
And guys who are going to be competing for top honours at the Epic, what are you expecting from the Epic this year, man?
Yeah, I would say I'm expecting a lot of joy, and a bit frightening as well. But I'm sure I will.
Thanks for saying that, because I think girls today are like,
we've chatted about it before.
Yeah, I don't know when the joy is going to come. Maybe at the finish line, man. Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, Graham, these things they're really changing lives. You're talking about how you recruited youngsters and things like that. I mean, you look at Luyanda and Lorenzo now that they won Wine to Wales last year.
Yeah.
So Lorenzo's two kids have got a full scholarship to Kuro for the entire schooling career.
Wow.
I mean, these are real opportunities to change lives, change the pathway that guys are on, and just to take them out of the situation. The youngsters that didn't know that they were good at something are being introduced to us by Thando. I mean, his team captain is making sure that everybody stays together, Chris, and this is the idea of this, is to just create more opportunities to take them possibly on a different pathway,
Yeah, well, it's life-changing on a different level, but along the way, you've got to raise funds. Everyone needs money, man, to be able to do these things, to be able to support structures. And Bongo, that's where you step in, with probably the coolest ratio. There's going to be a lot of envy out there. What is exactly going on here? What are we hoping to do with these incredible designs? We're taking them out there, I think, in their design phase, but seeing them up close and personal, really, really cool. So, Bongo, tell us about these designs and what's going to be happening with these shoes, man.
Okay, my involvement here, I'm just pimping up the shoes, make them look cool. Chris Norton hooked me up also, as he hooked up Thando. Yeah, he's a good guy. I know Chris Norton from Andy Norton, right?
Yeah.
The wife. Yeah. So that's how I met Chris Norton. And Norton is the lady that helped me also to open up my art gallery in Stellenbosch. So that's how they know me, via art.
So Andy is facilitating a lot of the artwork. So the Triennial that's in Stellenbosch at the moment, Woordfeest, all the artwork that's going on there, she's doing a lot of facilitation. And the idea was to get Bongo on board because he's from Kaimandi, and to tell a bit of a story about the Kaimandi riders on the shoe.
You want to touch them? It's like,
yeah, you can.
Thank you so much.
I'm not sure.
So what went into the design here?
The design is more about Kyle, BMT, and also his family, is included. If I may show you, yeah. Kyle told me, a story about BMT, his family, all the ideas that he wants to see here to this show. So from here, it's more about his family,
Taryn, Olivia, and Ethan.
Olivia and Ethan, yeah.
So it's Theo, and I thought, why don't we put it on the toe? And he said, no, we put it at the back because your family's always behind you pushing you forward.
That's
so this
nice,
whole thing is based on like symbolism that he's included into the shoes. There's a lot of symbolic artwork on the inside. This is actually like a sort of a rough map of Kayamandi that Kayamandi Riders is built into. And then on the inside of that shoe there is just a little bit of a tribute to the Fair Tree guys. So I don't know if you can see it over there and how much they've put into this team. And also to more support from behind is our team Land Rover on that backside there. So like there's just riddled with loads and loads of symbolism and more as you
hopefully that's going to inspire you because you're going to need it. I'm not going to mince words. It's going to be tough out there. But the most important thing here, I think, is how can we support what you guys are doing? How can we support the Kayamandi riders and how can we get our hands on these? Are these up for sale?
So listen, we're still deciding what to do with these. At the moment, we have a Give and Gain page. Just you can go on Give and Gain and then search Kyle Brown or Fair Tree Foundation, and it's all there. I'm not really sure what I want to do with these because like I'm really keen to keep them too, and then just buy them myself.
Yeah.
So donate more to the foundation. So we've got we're probably going to auction them off though at some point, but I'll keep you informed about that. But really excited. I'll be riding, definitely dropping in on the prologue in these on Sunday morning.
Don't get them dirty, man.
I know. So no scuffing, no falling. Got to keep it upright.
Oh, man. Well, gents, I'm really, really excited to hear about what you are doing. Stay safe out there. Enjoy it. Savor every moment. And beyond this event, keep doing what you're doing because it just sounds life-changing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Check those shoes on my page.
Yeah.
Instagram, Get to Art Gallery. And also on Facebook.
Okay, go and check them out, man. And maybe, just maybe, Kyle will let them go. But to all of the riders riding in the Epic, especially those that are backing an incredible cause, stay safe and good luck.
And we're about to turn up the volume on the Feel Good here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show because we've got Africa Ablaze, which is a dynamic Western Cape-based dance company established in 1999 by Glenda Jones. Now, the dancers are from diverse backgrounds, and the choreography focuses on a range of African and global rhythms. You can expect to hear some kwaito, hip-hop, Latin, cabaret, rock and roll, contemporary, African jazz, belly, and creative expressions. Now, they join us this morning to celebrate 21 years of dance.
Yeah!
Wow! Woohoo!
Expresso welcome to Danny Jones, Glenda Jones, Cindy Solomon, and Gino Solomon.
It's a family business.
Let me just say that this is the mom, guys. This is the mom, because in case you didn't wonder. But I'll start with you, maybe, Glenda. I mean, 21 years of dance, coming from Elsa's River, one of 9 children, Africa Blaze. You've taken us through this journey with you on the show. But how did this all come about for you guys?
Well, firstly, I had a deep love for dance, even living in the ganglands of Elsa's River. And I used to dream big, really big, but I had small availabilities.
Okay, well, there goes the load shedding. Well, that's not going to stop the celebrations. It will be back up just now.
That's a nice teaser. Yeah.
Wow.
I must keep talking.
Okay, so now from Elsie's River, you find this inspiration to just distract yourself from all the noise and all the gang activity happening, and you turned to dance for that.
I did, but I also did not close my eyes to the poverty around me. I also didn't close my eyes to the fact that there were children that were desperate to have something to live for. So what I did is, at about 6 years old, I took 4 tires and a plank, and I created a stage. And then I took the old curtains that my mother just put on the dump, and then I created curtains for the stage. And then I fetched the children from the area that was right behind us, which was a squatter camp, and some of my cousins and even my brothers. And I started teaching them. From teaching myself first how wonderful it is to dance, I then transferred that over to them, and it became such a celebration that every month, end of the month, Sunday comes, all the neighbours with chairs and a 5 cents, and they would then enter into this backyard theatre. and they would watch the children really, really enjoy their life. Like a life that was so brilliant and so active and so amazing. It took us all out of our poverty.
Yeah.
And exactly why 21 years later, I'm doing exactly the same thing.
Glenda, I am in love with you, and I'm in love with the passion and just taking that initiative. But Danny, when Africa Ablaze was started, you were only 4 years old, and today you are one of the choreographers. Tell me about your experience with the dance company.
Yes, so I started when I was 4, and it has been an insane journey for me. I started choreographing for the company at 14 years old, and that came about in quite a funny way. I started with a little bit of balletic contemporary movement, and when I started teaching the company, I started kind of breaking this down. And trying to formulate a new form of dance. And that is what I've been working towards ever since, trying to find movement within the dances that fits their bodies, that suits what's best for them, that their creative impulses are always being brought out to stage and brought out to life. And so what we do, and what I've been doing for years, is not just choreographing and me passing on the knowledge to them, but we work together as a team. We create together. We are constantly trying to decolonize the space and decolonize dance.
Yeah, I say yes to that. But
Danny
listen,
for president.
Oh, the feel good is really just flowing all the way around here, and hopefully we are all getting inspired by this amazing story, right? We've got a social media comment that has come through, and this comment is from Lisa Bergsma. Says, "Happy Friday! Hello to my family back home. I love you and miss you all. This is a huge shout out to my niece Mackenzie van Ster, who is I'm assuming right behind you there, who will be performing with Africa Ablaze on the show this morning. And I know that Lisa is watching on YouTube all the way from abroad. Yes, there you are. Hello, Auntie. But that's all coming up here. But you guys have a stunning performance for us, my love. I know you're going to be amazing aunties watching from overseas, okay? So you're going to show her what you're made of, right? And the performance is called Queen's Response, right?
So we just need you to go back.
Go back into position.
Response. Connect with us on Facebook, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Let us know what you think of this performance coming up. Ooh.
Welcome back. It's a Friday morning. It's your feel-good breakfast show, and hopefully it's been a fantastic one for you thus far.
Sure, it was you sauntering back in here with a breakfast roll. Who does that, man?
They cater very well at the South African Women's Open, right across the street from us over here. Once again, good luck to all of the ladies taking part in the tournament, a flagship one for our country as well.
Yeah, well, one of the greatest. Dude, I cannot believe it. I think both you and I have walked this parallel path. Obviously, being on SABC, last night marked the end of an era.
Yeah.
The last episode of Isidingo aired on SABC3.
Can you believe it? I mean, storylines that have weaved themselves into conversations every single day may now be over, but the impact that will be left by Isidingo will be long-lasting. And our Johannesburg correspondent, I love calling him that, Tulupiri, is standing by with some of the actresses from this beloved soapie to bring us just, you know, a sense of what the feeling is like. Let's take a look at what's happening.
We are coming to you live from Johannesburg this morning. Now, we have been involved in the lives of the citizens of Horizon Deep for the past 22 years. And last night, man, unfortunately, we saw it all come to an end when that final episode of Isidingo, The Need, aired right here on SABC3. But not to worry, the good news is you can still catch your favorite characters as reruns of the show will be playing out in the same time slot from Monday at 7 p.m. Now, on Expresso this morning, I'm joined by 3 of the cast members, 3 beautiful ladies. Rosemary Zibu, who plays the character of Veronica, as well as Stephanie Sandoz, who plays the character of Olivia, as well as Shalane Bennett, and she portrayed the character of Claudette. A very warm Expresso welcome to you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Now, I must say that I was very emotional last night watching the last episode of Isidingo play out, waving goodbye to 22 years of The Need. How did you guys feel watching it?
Sure. It was a little overwhelming. I know all of us, because we all watched it together as a cast and crew, and there was just a moment. Everyone stood up, round of applause, and we just kind of hugged each other, and it was like no one could let go for the longest time. Because as much as, I mean, some of us have been there 9 months, 2 years, there have been people who've been there for 10 years, but the Isidingo itself has been around our entire lives. So saying goodbye to a show that basically grew us. It's a big thing,
And how have the fans been responding leading up to the final episode that we saw play out last night?
Because we were actually just talking about it. I think a lot of the fans are just kind of going, all right, so is there a return? When the return happens, is there a wedding? So a lot of the fans, I don't think the reality has actually set in that it is the end, because I've been getting a lot of questions about, no guys, you are coming back, right? No, you're not. So I think, fans are quite, disappointed, obviously, quite sad about the whole thing, but it is what it is.
I think they also just enjoyed the way it ended. It didn't end with the whole of Horizon Deep bombing. It ended in a way that, okay, maybe if it does come back, something is going to happen.
The shooting was quite intense.
Love it.
Rosemary, you've been on the soapie for +- 2 years now. How has the cast energy been like, shooting the final episodes, shooting the final scenes, that final day actually? How was the energy on set?
So I'm not a crier, but there were some tears shed. It made me very sad also because, I mean, I've been working with these people for the longest time. This has been a family now. I feel like I've been on other productions, but there is no production like the Isidingo one. And there is no family like Isidingo family. And so when we found out that it was ending, it was sad, but we made the most of it. We made the most of the last days together. We made sure we're always together. Even if we wrap early, we'll stay together and wrap together. So it was very sad, but it was also heartwarming to know that because now I've got new sisters and new brothers, we're always going to be together, have each other's backs. So it was sad.
It was sad. I mean, it was very emotional. The shooting scene really got to me. I mean, 22 years of Isidingo, it living in our living rooms is a really long time. What kind of legacy do you think the soapie has left for South Africans?
I think, to be very honest, and I mean, it's one of the reasons I wanted to get into the show as badly as I've always wanted to. It is the one show in South Africa that is completely inclusive. We're speaking to everyone in South Africa, and there are not many other shows that are doing the same thing. So I feel like a show that is relatable to the masses, that's definitely going to be missed, because now you're going to have to go to, okay, who's catering for me now? And it might solely be
only your type of people.
Yeah.
Whereas before, you're watching all of South Africa, and it's so current, which is also amazing.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they'll miss a lot. That's also what I've been getting from fans.
Yeah.
Because we're the only show that like something happens and it's on the show tonight.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
That's exactly what I loved about Isidingo, was
Yeah.
the fact that it slotted so much current affairs, and whatever's happening, like you said, on that day, we usually see that night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which made it that much more relevant and current as a soap. We just went the extra mile.
Yeah.
Now, we did mention that reruns of Isidingo are going to be playing out from Monday at 7 p.m. in that exact time slot. We're going to be taking a trip down memory lane for the next couple of months to come. What can fans expect from these reruns?
I think there'll be a level of also like nostalgia, just going back, because it's going way, way, way back. So you sort of feel like you're back in your living room as a child, or at least I will, re-watching these things. And I think it would be a good thing, because sometimes it's nice to see where we started, know, and then where we end up. So I think it will be fun to, just look at the 22 years and the journey from Sherelle to Parker Haynes, to all those kinds of things, and then where the final episode ended.
But I think the inclusivity of like the whole country is something that's going to stay consistent.
Yeah.
It was there from the beginning and till the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, people are going to be pretty excited.
People are going to be pretty excited. Well, like we heard from our three beautiful cast members, Shalane, Stephanie, as well as Rosemary, Isidingo might have been gone, but it's definitely not forgotten. You can catch those reruns, like we said, at the same time slot that Isidingo usually plays at 7 p.m. on SABC3. Let's all take a trip down memory lane and remember all those characters and just see how the soapy has evolved over the years and how our characters have grown, the characters that we've grown to love. Right now, it's back to you guys in studio.
Ah, what a time at the end of an era indeed. Isidingo. Of course, the reruns will be on weekdays at 7 p.m. right here on SABC3, and you can see all those best moments we've seen that have made this the amazing award-winning, multi-award-winning at that TV soapy that it is. Right now, though, it's time for us to talk about movies releasing today right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Everybody has come through. Bella's here, Bob is here, Bassie's here, and JP Sebastian is here to tell us all about them. JP, welcome.
Thank you.
Richard Jewell is a movie that's got to do with a security guard who saves thousands of people's lives during a bombing somewhere, and things go south somehow.
So based around the time of the 1996 Olympics, I think that was Atlanta in the United States. He was a guy who was trying his luck at being a police officer at first, but had a history of violence of his own and pushing the boundaries too far and whatever, and so he settled on being a security guard, where he comes across a suspicious package. Must be word, something like that. Yeah, why not? He chases people to safety, and he's hailed for quite some time in the United States. True story, by the way, as a bit of a hero. Yeah. Because he saved lots of lives that day. Then, however, the story starts to get twisted because, well, the FBI reasonably go, well, the first person to know about the crime is also someone who needs to be investigated, kind of. So the guy who blew the whistle gets checked in on, and so he falls into, and you're watching this kind of thing unfold, sort of like a procedural type thing, where it's in between the interrogation room and flashing back to the past, and him trying to like live through his own life. You've got Olivia Wilde, by the way, there, who is playing a journalist.
Stunning cast, really.
Sam Rockwell, who obviously won the Oscar for what was it, 3 Billboards back in the D. Well, that was like 2 years ago, and then Jojo Rabbit most recently. But yeah, all true story, directed by Clint Eastwood as well, who is an incredible director. Yes. But the dude cannot get off this tip lately of, and what the FBI describes as, I'm saying verbatim, these aren't JP's words, a white man who was a wannabe cop who feels victimized, etc., etc. And a lot of these movies are this. So
they are really centered around that type of narrative and story. Look at the texture of that movie, looks amazing. But okay, let's move on to Bloodshot, which also comes out tonight. I've seen reviews on the internet.
You're narrowing your eyes.
There's been some mixed reactions on this one. The director, I don't know him that well, Dave Wilson. I've seen some mixed sort of reviews. What are your thoughts?
But I mean, well, how do you feel about Vin Diesel, though? Like, he's tons of fun, at least.
Fun, yes. If fun is what you're looking for.
Look, this movie's more at my intellectual level, to be quite honest. I don't care, like the scope and the skit and the other word. Can you say that on South African?
No, you can't.
Thank you. So Bloodshot is based on a comic book, because we need more comic book movies and more superhero movies, about a guy who Vin Diesel plays, who is this, like, elite soldier who gets resurrected by a corporation who might have nefarious reasons for resurrecting him into a super soldier. And they inject into his bloodstream what are referred to, I suppose, as nanites, tiny little robot things that enable him to heal in a way like Wolverine. So whenever he gets damaged, he instantly is repaired by these robots within his body that you're looking at right now. And yeah, he decides that he's going to take revenge on the man who killed his wife, now that he's been given his life back. But as the trailer gives away really, really plainly, and it's probably not a spoiler then, because probably the movie fleshes out a bit more, but he goes through iterations over and over, taking revenge, waking up the next day going, who am I, who are you guys? And then he has to be re-reminded, and he goes through a sort of cycle of killing people who, were they actually in his past, or were they implanted in his brain? So this is like from our childhood, when we had Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you liked stuff like that, if you liked Universal Soldier as well.
You might just like this
Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah, brainless fun as far as I'm concerned, I'm sure.
I'll tell you one thing, I would be really fearful of an elite soldier whose wife has been killed. I think that's just asking for trouble.
Yeah, but the question is, did he even have a wife?
Was there even ever a wife? JP Sebastian, thank you so much for this. Of course, these are movies coming out today. You can go check them out at the cinemas. Let us know on Facebook. Use the hashtag Expresso Show. Which one of these two movies are you going to be checking out? Are you checking both of them out? Is there one that you're leaning towards? Let us know. We want to hear from you.
Rise and shine. There's no better way to wake up other than with Mackie D's for breakfast. Download the McDonald's app for delicious daily deals and start your day the right way. Who says second-hand is second best? At Cash Converters, you can buy top brands at bargain prices and sell your goods for instant cash.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Time to get into motorsport after a long break. Formula One will finally make, or we were hoping would make, its return this weekend with the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne. The race has been cancelled over fears of the coronavirus with various permutations, but we thought it would be a great opportunity to delve into what we can expect from this season. And we've welcomed our motoring journalist and good friend, Chiro Disiana, in here to, first of all, fill us in of exactly how it went down going into this weekend's race, and to give us a broader scope of what you're expecting from what will now be a slightly different Formula One season. So welcome back, buddy.
Thank you. Well,
what happened?
I'm expecting I might be out of a job because the season is looking in doubt now.
Wow.
So in the run-up to this, what had happened was the Chinese Grand Prix was postponed, the Vietnamese Grand Prix was postponed, Bahrain was going to happen behind closed doors. That's in a week's time after Australia, the season opener. And while we were all sleeping last night, the Australian Grand Prix was cancelled. Huge meeting between the FIA and the Formula One teams after McLaren pulled out of the race completely. And I think the issue with Formula One, I don't know if you saw the news that the NBA season got suspended in America. NBA is quite a different sport to Formula One in that everyone who plays it is in America already. It's very localized. Whereas Formula One is a very unique sport.
Global connector, yeah.
Yep, it's a traveling circus. It really is. You've got headquarters in England. You've got teams around the world working on it. You've got teams flying in working on it. So they're exposed to a lot of air travel. And you had 5 members of various teams testing positive for coronavirus just
various
before the
teams
race.
over and above McLaren?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, team members from Haas tested positive. And now 14 members from the McLaren team have been isolated because one of their members tested positive. So it really is a mess, and I think FIA have made the right decision.
But they didn't get there very quickly. What happened with Lewis Hamilton, and why was he prompted to project in the way that he did?
He was upset. So in a press conference on Thursday featuring himself and Daniel...
Why did this happen so late? Surely they knew this was coming.
Yeah. In a press conference with himself and Daniel Ricciardo on Thursday live in Australia, Lewis Hamilton absolutely lambasted the FIA and said, you guys are following the cash here. He said, cash is king. The only reason we're here to race is because you don't want to lose money. So he really laid into the FIA. And funnily enough, Kimi Räikkönen, who said, I'm here to race, he was actually on a plane home before the announcement was even made. He was on his plane home.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's really, really in trouble, the sport. And I'm not sure if they can really recover from this, because losing 4 races for an entire season will throw the entire point structure off. So the whole season is in doubt right now.
And we know the nuance of designing a season and a circuit, you know, how you reverse engineer that. So with the minute and a half left that we do have to chat, should we have a season? How are you feeling about Lewis? How are you feeling about the drivers on track? What were we feeling going into this season?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the various stakeholders and players in the industry, you've got to feel, for instance, for the Vietnamese Grand Prix and those organizers, because this was going to be their first race ever. They've spent years building this track, and unfortunately its proximity to China hasn't helped. It's up in the north of the country, quite near the border. So got a feel for them as well. As I said, given the fact that Formula One is a traveling circus, there's almost no way to ensure that the thousands of people who work on it, including, for instance, the people who broadcast it and who have to travel around the world, there's no way that they can't fly. And every time they fly, they're massively exposed, obviously, to contracting the virus. And because they work in such close quarters with each other, you can't just sort of say, okay, well, you stay in the office, you know, and we'll go run the race kind of thing. So it's an extremely difficult situation. If I was in the FIA right now, I must be honest, I don't know what I'd do, because you've got sponsors lined up, you've got races lined up. I mean, these seasons are planned years in advance, and their hands are tied at the moment. It's a very scary situation.
Just give the decision to Donald Trump. He'll say he'll cancel it all, and then everyone will be left like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And an unprecedented experience for an unprecedented spread of a virus that has now been declared a pandemic, and this is exactly why. Chiro, I hope you're not out of a job, buddy, and that you get to watch some racing. We'll have to turn to bikes, but bikes might be cancelled as well. We just don't know, but of course it all comes to bear because of the spread of the coronavirus. Crazy.
Yeah, you know what the spread of the coronavirus is not affecting? Hashtag Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao. Yes, that's currently showing on SABC3. In fact, the first 3 episodes left the audience literally wanting more, and they are getting it. Catch that repeat episode tomorrow at 8 p.m. on SABC3. And of course, after the first 2 episodes, I can't wait for you to see exactly what's going to be happening in the rest of the season. It's been very, very exciting, especially for this man over here, who had a very good Tuesday, I'm sure. What's been the feedback like from everyone after the first 2 episodes of Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao?
Sure, it's been great, I must be honest. I've had a lot of friends and family just be like, sure, I'm impressed.
Hey, Trev.
I didn't know what you were actually doing, but now that I do, it's pretty cool. So
do you remember that first Tropical Long Life ceremony that we had, the points gifting ceremony? That was quite intense, wasn't it?
It was. That points gifting has really shaken things up. It's really made it interesting and exciting. And yeah, I'm excited to see what's in store for further down the season.
All right, Trevor Lagerway is a man who is, he's an athlete, as you can see, very much in physical shape. And the question that a lot of you have been asking as well is how did he get ready for the competition, right? And how do you keep yourself fit? Was it one of those things where you kind of went on as usual because you're usually very active, or did you have to change it up a little bit?
So I'll be honest, the physical elements, I just kind of did what I've been doing, because I compete in obstacle course races, which is, you know, running a strenuous 21-kilometer trail run and competing in 30 military obstacles, which are very challenging. And so the physical wasn't so bad, so I just carried on doing my thing. The mental, however, I prepped and planned, you know, well. I watched every episode, I looked at all the games, I played puzzles online, you know, so I did that whole element, researched about the culture and history of Curacao. So I tried to make sure I was ready, you know, in a holistic form.
So if there's anybody who can help you up your fitness game, it's this man. So you're going to show us a couple of body movements that we can do at home that will allow you to pick up on your fitness level a little bit. Okay, cool. I'm ready, man.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Sure, bro?
Ready. I don't know. I don't know.
So we're going to work through 4 movements. Very kind of, I wouldn't say they're necessarily the easiest, but they're great for getting your fitness up quite quickly, heart rate elevated, get that blood pressure pumping. So the first one is going to be a burpee. Let me just get you ready for all of these. The burpee, then we're going to go into a lunge, then we're going to go into a push-up, and then what we're going to go into the final one is what's called a V-up. Okay, so we're going to do 20, basically a Tabata. So it's 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. Okay, so the first 20 seconds, we're going to start with our burpees, we get 10-second rest, and then into our lunges. Okay. So with the burpee, we're going to drop down, hands to the ground, we extend the legs out, drop the hips, chest comes up, hips snap up, feet to hands, and we jump off the ground. Okay. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. There we go. Breathing is very important, so I'm glad to hear you breathing. A good test for yourself is to see how many burpees you can do in 60 seconds. If you can get to 20, you're doing really well. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. So we've got 10 seconds to rest. Lunges. You're going to drop down, make sure your shin is vertical, explode up, and drop the knee to the ground. There we go. So it's explosive lunge.
And we've got 10 seconds to rest. Use it.
2, 1, let's go. There we go. Always important, keep the core tight, keep your chest upright, keep breathing, keep that shin vertical, knee close to the ground. You're doing great.
Oh man, the burn is real.
Burn. 3, 2, and 1. Well done.
10 seconds rest. Use it.
Use it. Okay, so the next one, push-up, very important. Elbows go back, pull that belly button in, keep your core tight, clench your glutes. You're gonna drop down, and you're gonna breathe yourself up.
You got a wide
ground.
leg stance.
Just wider than shoulder width, yeah. Hello, pup. Okay, 3,
support us.
2, 1. Let's go. Come on, buddy. Push-ups, let's go. Okay, it's very important you breathe in as you go down, and you breathe out as you're pushing yourself up off the ground. Keep that core tight. Great work. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done.
Next up.
Last one on our back is a V-up.
What's that?
Okay, so on your back, extended, lower back is flat on the ground, and you come into a jackknife position up towards your toes.
Okay.
Okay,
my favorite exercise.
3, 2, hands behind you, 1. Let's go. There we go. This is a great one for that core, get those abs firing. Work that six-pack, cat.
Yeah, man.
There we go, buddy. Keep going. Last 3, 2, and 1. Well done.
Okay, cool.
So you're gonna do 8 rounds of that.
Wow, okay.
Okay.
Ready. Okay, wait. But you didn't bring these for nothing, bro. We're running out of time, but you're gonna show us what you can really do.
Okay, so 2 exercises I do to stay fit amongst many is what's called a man maker. And then we're gonna do a thruster after that.
Cool.
So you give yourself 2 dumbbells. This is one movement. Down to the ground, stay strong, you row up. You do a push-up, you row up the other side, you do a push-up, you stand up, you curl up, and you press up. That's 1 rep. You try and do 5 of those.
Okay.
And they're really gonna get burning.
Okay, what's the other one?
Second movement, thruster. You hold the weights at your shoulders, push down into your squat, and you drive and you press the weights above your head. Which really gets the heart rate going, gets the blood pumping. These 2 movements alone is a full body workout and can get, as you see, can get you out of breath. It can pick up your strength and your fitness in no time.
Absolutely.
So I recommend you do those.
Wonderful, man. Thank you very much. A man of steel right here, man. Catch him and the rest of the contestants of Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao. And of course, don't miss out on the repeat. That takes place tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. on SABC3. And of course, follow the season, #Tropica, to keep up with the comings and goings and of course all the competition that is happening over there. Out of breath. I want to try this as we go into an ad break. I think we're going to an ad break. See you there.
So there, row up. So first row. Then push up, row, push up, Feet up, stand up.
Next time on Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao. After some dramatic twists in the first week of team challenges, it's time for the first elimination.
What?
Now we get to see who will double-cross who.
What was the strategy?
We're not a threat. Betrayal always comes from those closest to you.
How do you play this game with an honest heart?
Catch Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Repeat Saturdays at 8 p.m. only on SABC3.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, all you beautiful people, right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Happy Friday, also happy World Sleep Day. Someone we're definitely not sleeping on is JP Sebastian to give us a movie review that is released today called Emma.
Yes, so it's based on the Jane Austen novel of the same name, of course, a classical novel that hopefully people are studying at high school and whatever. So you get in your hands a modern movie that might help you read in the book. Stars Anya Taylor-Joy, who is usually one of these horror queens. She acted in, was it Split? Glass, etc., etc. She usually does a lot of horror movies. The Witch, so scary. But Emma is a period comedy. So, hey, It's
a comedy?
Well, a comedy, sort of romance. I know you're always out for rom-coms, but obviously it's so witty, you can put it that way. And it has an edge of drama, has an edge of comedy, has an edge of everything to it, including an edgy scene such as this involving her reading the riot act to a guy who's telling her, listen to yourself for once. You're wrong, you're stubborn. Because she is. Smart as she may be, beautiful as she may be, Emma is a bit of a tough cookie to deal with. Here's a clip.
Mr. Knightley. You must have had a shocking walk.
Not at all, sir. It's a beautiful evening.
You must have found it very damp and dirty.
Dirty, sir? Look at my shoes. Not a speck on them. How do you do? I came to wish you joy.
Joy? Oh, the wedding. It's a terrible day.
So how did you all behave? Who cried the most?
We all behaved charmingly. Everybody was in their best looks. Not a tear and hardly a long face to be seen.
Bring the screen a little closer. Mr. Knightley feels a chill.
And what of Mr. Frank Churchill? Is he every bit as handsome as his father promised he would be? He did not come.
Emma, very interesting. Flesh it out a bit more for me because I'm not grasping it just yet.
Like I said, Anya Taylor-Joy, that is Johnny Flynn, who is the young man, and Bill Nighy, who a lot of people know as well, is a bit of the comic relief. He plays her dad. She's the heir to a family estate in this fictional county of England, and she's a bit of a matchmaker. She feels like, oh, she can connect so-and-so with so-and-so, and they'll get married, and in the scene you're looking at... Oh, I'll take your word for it. Maybe I'll find out the hard way someday. But she pairs people off together, and she feels like she's got her fingers in all of the pies. She's not a control freak necessarily. She's not necessarily precocious, that word that's so abused with these period movies. And Anya Taylor-Joy does good to sort of balance that out. She's not just a caricature of something that we're used to from the time. Ooh, you got Miranda, goodness, I've forgotten her name, but you'll remember from the TV show Miranda. People love her for those comedies, and she's fantastic in it too. And so...
Oh, and the girl from Sex Education. I just saw there.
Sure. Me, don't know TV so well, but I'll take your word for it again. Maybe Kuchle knows about that too. And so Emma invites into her life a new friend after she marries off a member of her household to someone else who has to then leave. And this is Harriet, played brilliantly by Mia Goth, who I think will be nominated for supporting actress. You can see already that this thing will be nominated for costumes. And man, every scene is deliciously beautiful. Everything looks like a little macaron. Well, I'm not even saying that word.
Macaroon.
Thank you. I've never eaten one in my life. I'm a doofus. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We'll get one and then watch the movie.
Thank you.
Together.
Let's in the kitchen do something with those, please. Macrons, not the Prime Minister of France.
I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, so definitely going to be up for best costume. Definitely going to be up for production design. It's gorgeous to look at, and it's so interestingly like the tempo of the editing is so interesting. Everything feels like it's like prep for a big explosion coming up at the end, kind of thing.
Is there explosion?
Explosion in the sense of just a bob, just a mean line, just a mean word said to someone can, you know, set the whole sort of thing aflutter. Raise temperatures and whatever. And usually that kind of like small thing to set off arguments or whatever shouldn't feel that dramatic, but the movie is really quite well made in its pacing that you do gasp and go, oh, and you have to fan yourself when, you know, this eventual climactic reckoning of the truth of how much of a little cruddy person she is. 5 different words I thought of. Has to dawn on her eventually. Brilliantly acted, actually, and hopefully it will end up getting a lot of nominations for itself.
Of course, we hope so. But how many macaroons are you giving this? See what I did there?
Okay, well, those things I've never eaten, I would give it 8 out of 10.
8?
Yes.
Never in life have I ever sat on a couch with you where you're always like 6, so I feel like this is definitely
I just learned the number 8. I've only been able to count up to 6 for the past 5 years.
Wow, 5 years on Expresso, and already it's the first time giving an 8, so it's definitely something you have to watch out. And maybe someone in the kitchen can offer JP a macaroon? See? No? We?
Watch Emma.
We don't know.
Clover Classic Custard, the creamy taste that takes you back. Made with love by Clover.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, Jamie, we're going to take a bit more of a Spanish route today because we're making something very different in the kitchen, inspired to make these, and we hope that we will inspire you to make these at home because they are tasty, they're super delicious, they're decadent, deep-fried custard squares, or as they're known in Spanish as leche frita. And they're served with either lukewarm or cold milk. You can enjoy it as a dessert. And we've invited Trevor Lagerway from Tropical Island of Treasure Curaçao fame to join us here. I don't know, do you indulge in sweet things, Trevor?
The only reason I exercise is so I can indulge, you know. It's kind of that yin-yang, that's what we have to deal with.
Well, Jenny Morris is here to spoil us both, so I'm looking forward to this.
And Mama in the middle.
Right there.
Okay, all right, Jenny, let's get into it. What do we need first?
Okay, we need... darling, can you just lift the butter and pop it?
Okay.
Am I ignoring you?
Not at all. I'm not feeling...
You hold that.
All the butter. Well, this is not something you see every day. Jenny Morris flustered in the kitchen.
Right, now give that a good stir. I'm just checking that he's doing it properly.
He's got great form, as you can see.
Is my chest out? No.
I'm not worried about your chest.
So the butter goes in there into a warm
We literally want to melt the butter and in with the flour. The thing is almost like making a,
roux?
Gosh, yes, a roux.
Jenny Morris, keep it together.
Yes,
it's only Trevor Lagerway in the kitchen.
The stone ground flour, may I ask?
Just mind your own business.
That's a great question there as well.
It's good flour.
But I guess because this is a decadent kind of recipe and dessert, really don't worry too much about the healthy stuff, Trevor. We'll do more of those mountain climbers and those movements that you showed me earlier on to break down.
So, okay, let me talk this method.
Yes.
Stop distracting me. So you get your flour in the pot with your butter. You make this gorgeous roux. You want it to be nice and nutty brown, and then you add your custard.
Oh,
so I'm going to custard. Do you want to put the custard in?
No, you can go right ahead. I'm sure you'll enjoy it more than I will.
It's not over me, please.
Here's a lot.
Why not?
Oh, goodness.
You want to cook it?
Yeah, what have you got me involved here, buddy?
Oh, wow. And on a more serious note, you need to cook it out and let it get nice and thick, almost like a jelly. crispy.
Yes.
And then you throw it out onto, you need to line a baking sheet with some cling film.
Yes.
And then you pop it into the fridge. You see that, sweetheart? It's got to set.
Am I the sweetheart or that?
Or both. You can see it's lovely and firm, and you mustn't make them too big because we.
You know what's also firm, Jenny Morris?
I know.
This man's arms.
So then what you do is you firm it up nicely in the fridge, but you mustn't be greedy. I'm a greedy girl. I normally like to cut them very big, but don't.
Okay.
Because what happens is they bow in the middle.
Oh,
okay.
I like
yes.
it there.
So,
All right.
okay, so I've hit you with this, but it doesn't matter. Let's
There we go.
swap.
You can use that.
Yeah.
I'll hold on to this.
So we're going to take these.
Oh, goodness. They're quite delicate.
Can you have a look? They're delicate for now, but it changes very, very quickly.
So you're going to powder it up?
We're going to powder it up with some flour and then some egg. Just dust.
Yes.
Just get it into the egg. Let me do it.
Yeah, use a spoon for that. So you're going to get... There we go.
And then I want to pop it back into the flour because that's the last thing that's going to touch it before it gets to your lips, sweetheart.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Looks delightful already.
Yes, it's gorgeous. Now, can I get you to fry this without hurting yourself?
Oh, come on, Jenny.
Well, he's kind of a half-naked chef. You should be wearing an apron. No, but I'm serious.
This is a morning show. I won't take my shirt off.
There we go.
No, don't take your shirt off, indeed. But you have to be careful because it could spatter on you.
Okay, all right.
So just
from a
be very
distance.
careful, lower it.
No, don't throw. Just slowly, just
Slide it in.
slide
At an
it.
angle?
That's my boy, yes. And
Lovely.
then you want it to cook nice and golden.
Okay.
And then we'll take it out and we're going to just pop them into...
Is there a time frame or not necessarily?
It'll change
Just until
colour.
it's- Okay.
Yeah, just nice and crisp. Okay, let's make another,
Do another one.
Yeah.
And while you do that, of course, let me tell you at home, we're using Clover Classic Custard as our key ingredient in this recipe. And it's very well known for being the creamiest taste that takes you back with its unique recipe, and is also a great source of vitamins A, B2, and D as well. All right, so...
Oh, look at that.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean by it. Oh, yeah, and it's got beautiful layers to it as well.
Stunning.
Okay, so we're going to carry on making these, and once they are golden brown and pop out of that pot full of hot oil, we're going to make them dance around this brown or this sugar and cinnamon mixture. And we'll show you what that end result looks like while you take a look at how we made this.
Made with love by Clover.
All right, SMS the keyword Clover to 33728, and we'll send you a list of the ingredients as well as a link to the recipe so that you can make this at home, delight the family and friends over the weekend. How are we looking there, Jenny Morris?
I promise you, this looks absolutely delicious. I can hear it going crap, crap, scrape, scrape,
Yes,
and you know
yes,
it's
that's what
nice
you
and
want.
crisp.
And while it's nice and hot as well.
Yes,
Oh, careful, don't burn yourself.
I will never burn myself, darling.
Here we go.
I've got
Takes me
cast
back to
iron.
my pancake days.
Does it?
Your pancake
Which
days?
is actually pretty much every day now.
Yeah, I was about to
Protein
win that
pancakes.
yesterday.
There we go. Look at that.
Good stuff, good stuff. Trevor, would you like to taste one?
I will not say no.
Get in there.
Heck, and ask
You let me know.
one.
All right, so SMS the keyword Clover to 33728. I'm also going to try one because I feel like we deserve it.
I like a little bit of sugar in the morning, eh?
In the evening and at supper time.
Every meal of the day. What type of sugar are we talking about?
Any kind of sugar, baby, as long as it's sweet.
I think I'm just going to eat this. It's a children's show.
You're never going to be the same.
Shoot your shot, Jenny Morris. Shoot your shot.
You know I like to shock.
Listen, do try it out. Absolutely delicious. Yeah, would you agree?
No, I do agree.
Jenny, thank you very much.
I had my doubts.
My pleasure. Aren't they? And easier said than done, hey?
No, they're very easy. I'm going to make this at home.
Unbelievable, absolutely. But you need a box of Clover, darling. Some classic, huh?
I've got, don't you worry. Nothing like a classic. Thank you.
Wipe your hands.
Oh, that is good.
Clover Classic Custard, the creamy taste that takes you back. Made with love by Clover.
Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back, you beautiful people, to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Expresso, live right here on SABC3. Thank you so much for spending your Friday morning with us. Of course, we've got Africa Ablaze in the house this morning and all the love flowing through on social media. Thank you so, so much for that. Cindy and Gino, you guys, in celebration of your 21st anniversary, here you are. Okay, so you got a show coming up, which is obviously going to dazzle audiences. It's called I Am Rain. Tell me about it.
So, as you know, we've been through a drought and we're experiencing day zero. And so Glenda was inspired to write something about what would actually happen if we run out of water.
Yeah.
And she investigated the topic of who will have water, who won't have water, who appreciates water. And so that's her inspiration and that's the topic we are investigating.
This is fantastic. It's not just dance for the sake of entertainment. There's a story and a message in there that everyone can take something out of. Okay, so Gino, how do we catch this show? Where do we go?
Okay, 14th till the 18th of April at the Baxter Theatre. Web tickets, you can book it. You can go onto the website, www.africaablaze.co.za. And I would just like to say to the entire Expresso team, thanks for all the support.
We love you guys. We love you guys. We love you guys. Well, the show is from the 14th to the 18th. Of course, it is at the Baxter Theatre. Catch all that information on africaablaze.co.za. Here is a performance. Homelands. Take it away, guys.
Expresso show made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.